I do auto hosting for some of those guys. Now you should see me.
Then he
Yes,
just crushed
Adam. I'm sorry to interrupt your watching of Adam Keeble because he's awesome. But here we are, my team playing Masks Heroes Abound, session one. Very exciting. Very exciting. Let's go around real quick and introduce everybody. Over here we have Joshua.
Oh,
Nope.
hi. Yes.
What are you
Yes.
playing, Joshua? What's your character?
I am playing Mali. He is the Nova. He has a power over the element, wind, weather, that sort of thing.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. And here is Adam.
I'll be playing Nyx, the Scion,
This guy.
daughter of the cult leader, turned hero.
Cool. Wasn't it? Isn't it? Father
Father Apollo.
Father Apollo. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Just make sure I got my stories straight. And here we have Billy Joe.
Hi. I'm Leech. I'm a what am I? I'm a reformed. Yeah. My powers. My major power is vitality absorption. So I can suck the life out of people.
Awesome. I was gonna make a witty joke there, but I decided not to because.
Okay, so you decided for an awkward silence instead.
Well, you go with one or the other. Awesome. Thank you, Billy Joe. And last but not least is over here we got Steve.
I'm playing Cage, the Wraith. Powers are shadow control, portals, and shadow senses. He's a legacy, so he's part of a Legion of the Night, which are a band of heroes that are seen as quasi-vigilante, but they generally keep on the up and up.
Excellent. Here, another star of our show is Roxy, my pretty kitty, who wants to show you her butt right now, like cats do. Enough of that. I'm just going to go like this. And I am Scott of Scott's Case Files for this channel you're watching right now. So let's hop into it, boys and girls. So yeah. So we talked about how 3 out of the 4 of you are in high school. Your characters. The only one that's not is Nyx, I believe.
No, that would be Leech.
Oh, Bleep, sorry. Got my stuff straight. I knew it was one of the baddies. Excellent. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. So, yeah. So, Leech, you're the only one that's not in high school. What is it that you do? Like, they want you to have some kind of thing to do to occupy your time to keep you reformed, basically.
Right. So since he is a juvenile delinquent, he has the option. He can fight crime during the day. He can
Oh, neat.
get a job. So he does a little bit of both. He has a part-time job that he has to show his pay stubs to his parole officer for, and then he also does a little bit of extra crime fighting under the name of the Violet Vanguard during the day while the rest of the guys are in school.
Violet Vanguard being the team name.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Double V. Yep, there we go. Yeah, double V. That's that could be a thing. That's pretty cool. It's like victory, Vanguard. I see a lot of good stuff here. Good jobs.
It's a
Excellent.
little team venture, though.
It is, well, as long as we don't touch fingertips, I think we won't infringe.
I wasn't going to say anything on that one.
You guys, maybe. Awesome, cool. So I figured I'd just kick us right up into some action, some story. I figure the 3 of you do go to high school, and you're going on a field trip. You Victor on a field trip to the local natural history museum. As many school groups do, you go through. Everybody has a buddy, even in high school. You gotta have that buddy. You can pick your buddies however you like. Yeah, there's everything. It has everything from dinosaur bones to things in outer space and the elements and the history of the local city of Halcyon City, and there's a part. Of course, there has to be a part dedicated to the various heroes throughout the generations and that kind of thing, and theories as to how some of them got their powers and that kind of good stuff, or why Halcyon City is such a bastion for this kind of thing. The rest of the world, of course, has heroes and whatnot, but this seems to be the place where they congregate, where they're created, that kind of thing. The history is just full of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So who's buddies of the three of you? Who has the non-team buddy?
That's hard to say.
I would probably say that I would be buddied with somebody. I think she would be a little bit more apprehensive trying to be a buddy with somebody else in the school.
You're saying you would want to be the buddy, or have the buddy, or would not want to have the buddy?
Would want to have the buddy.
Okay.
Are
Yeah,
they going to be somebody that we assign, or is a teacher going to assign it?
You guys can pick amongst yourselves, but a buddy, by definition, the buddy system is 2 people, and there's only 3 of you. So probably, I'm assuming 2 of you will be buddies, and 1 will be the
Natalie
odd
knows
person.
Cage pretty well. They could be buddies.
All right. Does that mean that Josh? And what is Josh's Mali's non-superhero name?
Jonas.
Jonas.
Yeah, Jonas Noble.
All right, Jonas Noble, which is an awesome not a superhero alter ego name, by the way. Highly approved.
Totally.
All right, let's say for the sake of argument that Jonas is the odd person out, and just so happens you get stuck with the kind of the smelly kid, people that people picked on, that kind of thing, and
I'm having flashbacks right now, just flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't mean for this to hit too close to home to anybody, but here we go. Yeah. So he's kind of picked on and keeps to himself. He's a nice guy. His name's Jim. A nice enough guy if you actually take the time to talk to him. He's picked on here and there, but generally just stays out of people's way and doesn't talk much. So just that you're by being stuck with him, you're basically you have a non-person who just wants to not be there completely, and we should say gone to that online school, which would have been freaking awesome, but here we are with a buddy.
Homeschooled until he was forced out of the commune.
Something like that.
Oh, so I probably know him. Yeah.
Oh crap. Cool. So yeah, and for kicks, just to get everybody together, we'll say that Leech, again, I should probably also write down your alter ego names. What's your alter ego name, Leech?
Rudy Forbes.
Rudy. So let's say Rudy had some time in his day, and it was a nice opportunity to kind of hang out. So he'll hang out at the museum also. So and Anne and your social worker is big on this kind of thing. Anytime you can check off some, even though again you're emancipated, you're kind of living on your own, doing your thing. You have the foster family or whatever. It's still a matter.
You know what? I just decided something. So Billy Joe, I did not go to high school like most kids. So Rudy is, I mean, obviously most people play themselves. So I was homeschooled from 7th to 10th grade.
Neat.
And in 10th grade, I actually went to the public school just for band. It was first period in the mornings. And then I went and I actually had a day job then that I went to because I got my GED at 16. And then after a few months of that, then I did the job in the morning, and then I went to college in the afternoons. So I don't want Rudy to be taking college courses, but like maybe doing a course at the high school with the rest of the kids, like a band class or some kind of elective like that.
Cool.
And then there might be an opportunity for some extra RP to help you out, so that I'm not constantly separated from everyone.
Sure, that's awesome. That's awesome. Can let's maybe say it's does Rudy find science interesting?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be like an extra, an extra, a non-requisite core thing that, people don't have to pick, but they, like advanced, some kind of advanced biology, that kind of thing. That's awesome.
Right. Like maybe he has aspirations of doing something in the chemistry field.
Oh,
So
neat. Very
in
neat.
order to do that, he's taken his high school science classes just so he's up to speed once he gets to college.
Cool. All right. Cool. So let's say you're along for the ride then.
Cool.
I'm still gonna keep Jim. We've already established Jim in the fiction.
Yep.
So let's say that because you're technically an emancipated adult, you don't need a buddy.
Right.
Theoretic, as adults, we know that's not necessarily the case. That you can take care of yourself and mind
Right.
yourself. But let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that the powers that be in the social worker circle think so.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. So you're there. You guys are there doing your thing. You're kind of, at this point, I suppose, you kind of walking through like the planetarium section. You see a big dark area. It's kind of cool and deep, where it all, it's so black and dark that you can't even, see the far wall. And that's the whole idea, because it's all, the solar system is suspended by almost completely concealed wires in the middle of it, and it's kind of showing the way that they would revolve around the Earth, if this, or the sun rather, if this was a moving model. It's static. But you guys are doing your thing. You're kind of, going a bit, through that exhibit and little minor things. You have the little plaques explaining this is Mars, and Mars is so cool because, you know, and in this universe, there may be Martians. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But anyway, yeah, you guys are kind of passed by the cliques. I don't care where you go to school, what century it was, there are cliques of people that stick together, and they tend to be people who have things in common. You have your geeks pass by. These are they like their comic books. They like their sci-fi and their fantasy, and they geek out on something so hard that it's awesome. That kind of thing. You have your jocks, the people who take this whole physicality to the next level in their lives, and do the sports and stuff like that. You have the popular people who, do they really have any use? They're charismatic. They're charismatic. They're future politicians here, boys and girls. So, those are going by. You guys getting looks. You guys get stuck with Jim. The pariah of the group. So you hear some snickers. People snickering as they kind of walk by you. Ah ha ha. And you guys are probably you probably not. You don't have a whole lot of time to be social. You have your various lives going on here. Natalie is, just kind of flung into this type of thing. Does she really have much of a social life? We'll find that out. And the others, between whatever they do when they're not in school, the crime fighting, do they have jobs? Again, this is all stuff we'll figure out through the fiction, so don't worry about that right now. Yeah, you guys seem to have formed your own clique, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And my assumption is that you guys aren't that totally similar in what you do and what you like and that kind of thing. For whatever reason, I have pictures of like Jacob doing, being big into sports, or Natalie, kind of, she almost, I can see her like being an arguer. She always has to make her point, type of thing. So maybe she's a debate team person. I don't know. She's had a lot to think about being raised in the cult, and she had to make it. She probably went through this thought process of, uh, why is this wrong? Why should I get out of this thing? There's a lot of thinking there. I can see her maybe doing something like that. You guys can tell me different. But yeah, so my assumption is you guys are your own special clique. There's doesn't seem to be much holding you together, unbeknownst to the public. Yeah, so you guys are doing your thing. One of the guys comes up to you, one of the jocks. Let's say he goes up to Rudy. Let's go. Rudy, man. What do you hang with these losers for? Let's go. We gotta go get some got to go look at the cafeteria. I hear they got some awesome stuff. He kind of like says it ironically because nobody likes cafeteria food, even though how it can be good.
Right. No, I'm not hungry. You go ahead.
Yeah, and Rudy probably comes off as he's the emancipated kid. He's
Right.
like the rebel, the badass.
Sorta, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's like the badass nerd. He likes to talk about science.
The irony of it all.
Yeah,
But he's emancipated, so it's cool.
that's right. Yeah, his
Yeah,
pocket protector is cool. No, I don't think he wears a pocket protector.
Hey, don't knock
Suddenly, I
pocket
got this
protector.
flash of him as like stereotypical bow tie glasses pocket protector. I'm not knocking it, but no, I don't think that's not his style. No.
Cool. All right, hey, that's cool. Okay, so yeah, he kind of shows you off. It was kind of you can see he was kind of taking a risk just asking you. He really doesn't know you too well. He's just kind of taking a shot with some quasi pop, badass popular dude. Get out there. I think it goes by. The teacher comes around and Mr. Hendricks like, all right, now let's not do some lettering. We only got a few hours here. I want you guys to see as much as you can. He's like, just keep moving, don't cause any trouble, keep your buddy. He's like, you know what happened last time? I don't want to talk about the Michael problem. I don't want to talk about the Michael problem. We're not going to talk about it. We have more chaperones this time.
I sigh and
Who's
turn to
Michael?
Natalie. I'm like, Michael was some kid who got stuck in one of the machines at the science fair. It was really horrible. He was such an idiot.
And Mr. Hendricks is like,
I cling a little closer to him. Like, I don't want to get stuck in a machine.
Nobody does.
Not realizing I could probably just completely destroy it if I ever did, but
There is that. So you guys, he kind of physically moves you along, breaking one of the tenant rules of teachers, which is don't touch your students. But he physically moves you along, and yeah, you guys, again, you guys are kind of like the odd, I wouldn't say odd couple, odd group. Again, nobody quite understands why you guys hang out. The idea, it's hard not to have the chatter and whatnot. The gossip behind the scenes. So yeah, they know you guys do stuff. They just don't know what the hell it is because you guys keep it a decent secret. I'm assuming. We'll see
We're
about
forming a boy band.
that. Yeah, definitely keep that on the down low
With the token girl.
with
I
the
would
token.
say
We're forming a
Oh.
band.
she's our lead. She's our front woman.
Yep.
Obviously.
Someone needs a soprano.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys are kind of shuffled on the way. This one girl, Heather, passes by and kind of gives Jacob a nice look up and down. And you've been seeing some attention from her before, but she's kind of like that shy one, doesn't want to make any kind of moves. But you can see there's something going on there from her. And she passes by, and everybody goes about their way. It's actually not too long before you guys feel like the whole building like shudder. I'm not sure if have you guys ever been in an earthquake?
Just
Yeah.
a small one.
Felt an aftershock.
Gotcha. I felt a very minor one, and it was the weirdest thing. It was like it was as if like again the earth was moving, but your mind tells you that this is not possible. So there's this mental disconnect. It's like, well, this is like what are we in cartoon world or something? Where physics is just thrown to the wind willy nilly, and we just don't, nothing, So you feel that you feel this jarring, and it kind of like a heavy bass vibe. It actually kind of that goes through you. You can actually feel it in your trunk as like, and before you know it, some ceiling tiles actually start to come flying down.
Like, I hope this isn't like the time the dinosaur exhibit got up and started wrecking hell. That was like 3 months ago, and they just put it back together.
I just hope dubstep isn't coming back.
that would need heroes to take care of. I can tell you that. But yeah, things are things are falling off. Things are, you can actually hear as you guys are passing out of that astronomical exhibit. You can actually hear like the sound of one of the planets falling off of its wire and just crashing to the ground behind you. And it doesn't take long before like there's Mr. Hendricks is coming zipping right back. He's like, not Michael, not Michael, not Michael, not Michael, not Michael, not Michael. And he keeps running, and people are passing by in the opposite direction. And it's starting to get, again, this is Halcyon City. Things like this happen. But like in any normal, sane person, it's not something that you enjoy or take in stride. So some of the kids just come passing back. In fact, the jock that was talking to Randall, look at those names. Rudy. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put that in your label so I can see it. I apologize wholeheartedly. Rudy. So the jock that was talking to you comes back. He's like, "It's Miss Disconstruction. She's breaking in one of the exhibits up ahead. We gotta get out of here. Get out of here. Go back. And you start seeing the inevitable panic. And you guys know from, again, just reading the newspaper, like people do that, going on the internet and stuff. Mrs. Deconstruction is a cyborg, and she's not a horrible villain, but she's on the wrong side of the law, and she kind of takes what she wants. It doesn't take long before you start hearing first like crashes up ahead, and then you hear like bullets. This deconstruction does not use guns, so this may be just a terrified and undertrained security guard going off. But that's what's going up ahead. Everyone's running in the opposite direction. So what do you guys do?
Those bullets are probably going to do more harm than good.
Generally, bullets do. As a joke, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get your guys' level of levity here. I don't know how serious you take stuff, so I'm just trying to gauging you right now. I'm just throwing stuff out there, seeing what sticks, comically. And your facial expression is not helping me. Can I give me a clue, man? Give me a clue. All right.
I turn to Jim and I'm like, Jim, catch up with the teacher. We'll be right behind you.
Like, well, go quick.
Yeah,
and he's like, he talked for the first time in a long time. And he's out of the way.
Perfect.
Yep. Perfect.
Like, I look around, I'm like, we can take her.
Do we need like a phone booth?
Well, that's the next step.
How many janitor closets are in a row? That's what's the challenge.
No, you have control over the weather. Can you create a fog? Can you create enough humidity to create a fog inside to obscure the thing? Obscure us while we change.
There's a good chance that it would work that way.
Well, I could probably create light bright enough to blind anybody looking, but that'd probably
Like-
blind all of you as well.
And I'm just listening to this. I'm like, I mean, I know I'm quiet, but hello, shadow guy.
Yeah,
And I just wave my arm around, and like the shadows start to deepen across the room.
Nice.
Or that.
Let's do that. All right, let's go with it. So okay,
That works better.
the last of the kids and Mr. Hendricks are passing you by. By this point it's dark enough where Mr. Hendricks, if you guys were not masks, he'd probably be in more trouble than he was with Michael. But so he's running by and he doesn't even know what kind of trouble you guys are getting into. We'll see what happens when they do the buddy count. Gotta hit those anyway. So what does it look like? What do you guys? We've all seen the movies. We've all read the comic books. What does your change look like? Is it like Is it like where your power ripples over your body, changing you from clothes to outfit? Do you have it in your backpack? Is it underneath your clothes, like Spider-Man or Superman? What does it look like? Go, Mali.
Oh.
You're on my left here if you're on the spot.
I was trying to actually. I,
Does like electricity just kind of ripple off your body and suddenly your outfit's
yeah,
there?
yeah. I want to
We
do
don't
like
have
a
to.
little like a electrical flash that sort of just moves across my body rapidly.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we
Like
don't have to put any science to this.
yeah.
Don't worry. This is fun, and that's an awesome effect. I mean, this is your signature thing. Like you can imagine,
Right.
just crossing your body like they do. And like, I'm sure you guys ever read Green Lantern comics, where it does something very much like the energy goes up his body, and you can actually see. The down here is uniform, up here is civilian clothes, and
I think
suddenly it's
Firestorm used to do that too.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
firestorm, transmuting matter, all the good stuff. Who here watched Spidey and His Amazing Friends?
We
Joshua,
must be the old. We must be the old ones.
yeah, it hurts me that Joshua is not raising his hand because I usually count on him to get my
I was an
80s
He
and
wasn't born yet.
90s
Uh,
references. I think
I
it was maybe the
watched
70s.
Yeah, I
I
was an
watched
18
the
I was
That was 80s.
I watched the one immediately after the Spidey and Amazing Friends.
All right. Well, you missed out. I'm here to tell you. Something to watch. So, cool. All right. So, yeah. So, Mali changes. And what does the costume look like? We haven't talked about that. I kind of wanted to hold it off until right now. You've had some time to think about this.
I know, and I've been having trouble thinking about it.
Purple and silver. Those are
Yeah.
our colors.
Purple and
Just wanna
silver.
keep on
The
saying
Violet
blush and
Vanguard.
bashful.
Yeah.
If you want, we can come back to you. So I'll kind of go down the line and see the changes going on.
Well, I imagine it's extremely flowy. So basically, wind and everything can make it ruffle. Um, it's not a tight suit at all. It's
Nice.
oh, I don't know. I was having trouble picturing this all week. I just cannot get my head around it.
Okay. It's all right. It's all right. As long as we know that you're in super mode, that's the important part here. We
Yeah.
definitely want to we definitely want to get an eventual look at what you look like because we're going to bring that into play at some point. So kind of think about it. It's not. I don't want to stall play by going hanging on you there, and I know give you some more time to think about it. Maybe once you actually get into the character and do some stuff, you'll have a better idea of what you want that to look like too. So that's awesome. Cool. Let's move to Nyx.
All right, so she'll probably have like a sunburst come out from the middle of her chest and just envelop her. So she is probably at one point, if you looked at her, you might actually hurt your eyes during that process. And then her outfit would pop up, and she would have basically like a tighter fitting T-shirt with jeans concept. I mean, it's not like a singlet or anything like a Superman outfit.
Gotcha.
But she would have a sunburst, like a silver sunburst in the middle, and all the rays would be coming out gray or silver, and then the purple. Of course, her other garb that she's wearing, her wig would go away, and any makeup that she would have to make herself lighter would fade away, and she'd have her darker skin.
Gotcha. But I meant to ask this: which one is Hannah Montana? Is it is it Natalie with or without the wig? Which one has the wig? Which one does not?
So Nyx is the short person. She has darker complected skin, and she has the pixie cut hair, like almost completely white hair. So when she goes as Natalie, she is wearing the longer, dark, like black wig and put on whatever makeup to make her skin lighter
Gotcha.
to
Excellent.
help try and hide what she looks like.
Sure, yeah, just obscure the details for people trying to what does that person look like, etc. Good, it's awesome. I actually don't know which was Hannah Montana the superhero version or it's not important to the story. I'll have to look that up.
Well, Nyx is the person, and then Natalie is the character.
No, I was just making a joke about Hannah Montana. Sorry, don't worry, you'll get me later. All right, Leech. What does Leech's transformation look like?
Leech doesn't have a power like lightning that he can make crackle across himself. So I think his uniform is technological in nature. So he probably wears it like a bracelet or something on his wrist, and then pushes a button, and it's It's a close-fitting, sort of like it's not like a cloth suit, like a Flash or something, but it's got a bit of a tech vibe. Like there's a little bit of technological structure to the costume
Oh,
for
neat.
sure.
Okay, you almost see like circuitry type of flowing through it at some point or another here and there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like not full on Iron Man level
No,
machine
like a
bulk,
yeah,
but
like a
yeah,
circuit board, like pulse
yeah,
going through it here and there. Is you know, but yeah, it's
yeah,
actually
for sure.
not. It's not that. I get that. I totally get that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then he actually does wear a mask. It's so the mask is just across his face. It's violet with a silver outline. The most the bulk of his actual outfit is purple with silver boots with purple accents on them, and then silver like on his belt, accents on his chest and shoulders and arms.
Awesome. Perfect.
He keeps his hands uh, free. He wears fingerless gloves on his hands because that's how he channels his vitality absorption.
Oh, cool. We'll get into that soon.
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. What does Wraith look like when he changes?
So it's definitely like inky blackness just starts radiating out from his eyes and then just like flows down.
Ooh,
Um,
that's awesome.
and once it gets to his feet, it reveals his outfit, which is black leather pants and jacket with a purple shirt with the silver emblem on it. And then he does have a cloak, but it's all just shadow.
Oh, it's like almost solid. It's like
Oh.
it's like the
I mean, it
solidity
looks
of
like a
like
cloak.
cloth,
Yeah.
but it's actually like
Right.
shadow taken form. That's
Right.
awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
And then
I
I
like-
just, I'll wrap that around myself for, whatever.
Nice. So yeah, all these are so cool. That is amazing. That's awesome. Good job, people. I like it. So yeah, okay. So like the heroes you are, you instead of running away from the danger, like some would say, like morons, you run towards it. But you guys are heroes, so that makes you awesome. So yeah, you guys go through a couple exhibit halls, and as you guys are doing this, the banging uh, continues to happen. The bullets have died down now. You heard those only briefly, little staccato. Um, those have died down, and by the time you guys get into the area that it's from, it's really not. And again, guys know where you're going because this is like the epicenter of that banging. And you get there, and sure as heck, on top of this large kind of metal crystal display case is misdirection or best deconstruct misdirection, misdeconstruction. And there's been she looks like she actually broke into the building by slamming straight through one of the walls up on the high ceiling. This is very, if you can imagine this, the room itself is pretty huge. I would say it's like 5 or so stories tall. It's like this is the place where they put the special exhibits. I'm assuming like everyone else has a museum where the visiting exhibits come from city to city to city, that kind of thing. And this is one of those. So they kind of give it the silver glove or white glove treatment, as it were. Yeah, in the middle of it is this metal and crystal case around what looks like just a meteor, if you had to put a word to it. And she gives one final crack on it, which again, this whole thing reverberates to the room. And then she looks at you. She sees you guys approaching when everyone else is either on the ground or gone. She looks like a 7 foot tall woman. Most of her body is obviously cybernetic, or either cybernetic in its own self, or it has cybernetic casings on top of it. And she has like 2 extra arms, so basically to help her do whatever she wants to do. Again, once you go cyborg, you can pretty much put everything on yourself that you want to, as long as you're cool with that. But yeah, so her two fists are banging down, the other two are kind of holding the thing, the casing still as she's doing it. And right as you guys walk in, the thing cracks, and that's about when you guys make your entrance. And she looks at you, and she actually smiles. And it's an evil smile in the sense that they are kind of crooked, cracked looking teeth, but they're made of like silver. Chrome. They're chromed teeth. Yeah, and they're sharp, and they don't look. There's nothing like friendly or inviting about them. There's no real nice way to spin that. So I don't know why she went with that, but is that fear factor? So yeah, she's like, "Oh, it's the Vanguard. I was wondering who was going to come and get me." And she like looks at a watch that's not even there, and it's like, "Oh, what took you? I'm already in." And she like grabs the thing and looks at you guys. And right about now, we can roll your first move, or no, do your first move, which is the team setup. So basically, when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, we create the team pool. So it starts with 1. Team pool is basically a way that you guys can help each other. When you roll, you're going to roll 2 6-siders, add a label, and possibly some other stuff. And the total of that can come up short sometimes. You might get a 6, which is a miss, when you need a 7, which is a partial success, or a 9 when a 10, which a full success would be just great. So this is an option for you guys to act in concert with each other. And we'll kind of get to that as we kind of go. But let's first create the team pool. So it starts with 1. When you enter battle with a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. So that gives us 3. Let's see. So now we have to figure out: is there a leader? Does one of you tend to lead the pack, or lead you guys into battle, or guide you guys? Ladies, peoples.
Maybe Leech does.
I would say probably the best idea, since he's the oldest.
Cool.
Or seems more mature than us.
Well, probably the most seasoned too.
I would,
using
yeah, I
your
wouldn't say
powers.
necessarily the most mature or the oldest, but probably the most seasoned, because he has actually been involved in. He's been on the other side once before. Of course, it ended in failure, but he has an empathy for the villainous side.
Yes.
Okay.
And crime
Knows
doesn't pay
how to.
kids.
That's right. Knows how to engage them.
And if you actually ask an attorney, if they'll say crime does pay until you
Well,
get caught.
sure.
It pays a lot. So yeah. So okay. So you have 3. We have a leader, which is Leech. Does the leader? Do you have influence over all your teammates? So look on your sheet.
No, I do not have influence over Nyx.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we won't add 1 there. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. Right now, there's no subplots or anything that can really distract from that, so I'm assuming you're all here to stop this deconstruction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, that makes it 4. I broke my arm when I was a kid, so I can't quite get the finger up like it should. These 2 are connected, kind of. So, okay, that's 4. If your team is ill-prepared or off-balance, remove a team. No, that doesn't count. If any member mistrusts the leader of the team. Does anyone mistrust Leech?
No.
No.
I know that.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll see how this battle goes, right? I know Leech and Molly have their beef from the racial slur, but
I wouldn't
That's-
really completely distrust you for that, though.
right, yeah, that's
Sometimes people are just stupid when they open their mouth.
That's true.
And teenagers who are sociopaths by nature tend to do that.
exactly.
All right, so that makes it 4. So you'll have 4 team. And if we make any rolls that come up short or anything, I'll kind of throw that out there, and we'll kind of show in action how that works.
Okay.
All right.
So, quick question:
Yes.
do I have any special duties or responsibilities as the leader of the team?
No,
What exactly do I do?
theoretically they're looking for you for leadership, like Wraith, hit him low, I'll hit him high, or something like that. Generally, that's the
Okay, so like
idea. Yeah,
tactics or strategy.
yeah. It's not required, but it's just enough that they're looking towards you for the leadership role, that
Okay.
kind of thing. If you say nothing, that's fine. There is no mechanic that takes it away from you. If someone else starts, kind of like if Nick, Molly, or Wraith suddenly, okay, I'm gonna use this power, use that power. Once that happens, then we can look at future engagements where maybe this person is actually the leader. So
Mhm.
so again,
Okay.
that's just necessary because if you've seen the movies, read the comic books, generally when you go into combat, there is somebody that's taking control and is giving the orders, or is at least kind of directing the flow of things. So yeah,
Okay.
you have nothing hold you back, nothing require anything of you, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Cool. All right,
At least
so
for now.
yes. All right, so so Misdirection, kind of gives it her, her little spiel, and it took you long enough. You haven't been on the job for long, have you? A Vanguard? Doesn't a Vanguard? She's like actually holding up and gesturing with the meteor at this point, and she's like, doesn't Vanguard mean like the thing that you can't get past? You could. I mean, are, aren't you guys like young enough to be in high school? Shouldn't you be like learning these words? You can kind of see, her arms are like kind of moving around her, almost as like they're like like a person, like you're wrestling, kind of getting ready for that guard to come out, the grab. So she's kind of moving stuff around, like she can berate you guys all she wants, but the fact is that it's probably a good idea not to, just not care about this whole interaction. So, what do you guys do?
What do you want here, Miss Destruction?
Oh, she's like, well, I'm just gonna take this here rock and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna use this. And as villains are wont to do, she starts spieling off, I'm gonna melt this down, and I'm gonna make it into yet another exoskeleton layer. And I'm gonna be even better at what I do, which is getting past the vanguard of heroes like you. And
We're
then she
not going to
kind
let
of,
you get away with that. We'll stop you.
all right, what do you guys do? You can tell that she's looking to spring. She is not looking to fight. She's looking to get the hell out of here. You can tell
Uh,
that from kind of her stance. She's like, you can already see like one of her eyes as it kind of rotates in its cybernetic socket, and it's looking for that hole that she made up in that ceiling area up there. And the other is
um,
kept on you.
so, can just anybody jump in, or do you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
assign like a? Okay,
No,
so
don't worry about that.
I want to start by trying to drain some of her energy so she can't spring away, like stun her for a round, basically.
Cool. All right. What do you? So what does that look like? No, we haven't gotten into like how you apply your power. Is that just like
Uh,
do you have to touch, or is it like an energy that comes off you?
no, it's an energy, so it looks like I'm pulling tendrils of shadow from the target.
Hmm, gotcha.
Um, so if I want to, and I can control it if it's a light touch or a heavy touch, but she's obviously pretty high powered, so I'm going to go for a pretty heavy hand here.
Okay. So we'll say that you're directly engaging a threat.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I'd like you to do is on your character sheet, roll with danger. Roll plus danger.
All right. Do I have any bonuses or penalties?
You have the bonus. Only bonus is danger, and that's already when you click on it, it'll kind of take that into account.
Right. I mean, in addition to that, no other situational
Nope.
modifiers.
Nope.
Okay.
You're gonna find that this is generally a very low end system when it comes to requiring a whole lot of crunch, that type of thing,
All
which is
right.
good.
So I got a 9.
Nice. All right, so that's a hit. Let's look at. I'm just gonna look at what we have here. So, again, this is our first time making this move. So
Yep.
when you directly engage a threat, roll plus danger. On a hit, trade blows. On a 10 plus, pick 2. On a 7 to 9, pick 1. So basically, she, by definition, she is going to get to hit you or fight back in some way that you're going to take a blow of some sort.
Okay.
So now, because you got a 9, you can pick 1 from that list. Also,
Sorry, go ahead.
before I continue, this is also an opportunity to potentially use part of your team. A 10 would make it so you can choose 2 from that list, which is even better than 1. 2 is better than 1 in this game. And all it needs to be is like tell how you're helping the other person on your team. And this is like this is an example. This is like the fastball special with like Wolverine and what's his face? Name escapes
Hulk.
me. No, the other one, the metal one. Not important. Yes, but the idea is that you are basically adding your power or your moves to this person's directly engaging, and that's how it's helping. So it doesn't require a roll on your part or anything. You just have to explain how it's feasible for you to have helped, and we take 1 out of the team pool, and suddenly this roll becomes a 10.
Well, I could say I could do the same thing that I kind of did earlier, and just exude cosmic rays and blind her temporarily.
Okay. All right, so what does that look like? So, okay, so we got the blinding, suddenly blinding. I'm assuming it's like a directed type of ray.
Yeah, so it'd be just coming from this emblem on my chest, and it would just be directed straight towards miss destruction, as opposed to it just enveloping my entire body. I channel it into one location.
Nice, that's awesome. All right, so Billy Joe, you hit her with your leeching ability. I'm sorry, I should have called you Leech. I'm trying to call it by like character name, not player name. So what does that look like again? Refresh our memory. Show us how these come together.
Yeah, so while Nyx is blinding her, Leech reaches out and starts sucking huge handfuls of stringy shadow from Mist Destruction from her chest, where her energy pack is stored.
Oh, nice.
That powers her exoskeleton. So it's draining her exoskeleton so that she can't actually move. She doesn't, because the actual person inside doesn't have the physical strength to move the exoskeleton.
Okay. So I'll give you that you're sucking the power off, but basically what's going to happen is, okay, so you do that, and again, because we boosted up to a 10, you pick 2 from this list. So before we go any further, tell me what your 2 from that list are.
Yep. So the take something from them is take the energy, and then I want to frighten the opposition with the loss of power.
Okay.
So she's had all of this power for so long that she's grown complacent, and now she suddenly doesn't have it, and so she's just like stunned. She's just like in shock.
Nice. That's perfect. All right. So yeah, and that happens. So basically, yeah, you as you're sucking the energy from her, as Nyx is doing the blinding thing, and you can see her. She almost drops the meteor, but that's like if there was like a mission directive. This is number 1. You can't break number 1. The number 1 thing you want to get done. She kind of slips down from her perch where she was on that thing, and as she does so, as she hits the ground, you actually feel a shockwave of that energy as she voluntarily sends some in your interaction, but this time as basically an attack on you. So you're going to take a powerful blow.
Yep.
Your first powerful blow.
Yep.
So roll plus conditions, and you have none, so just a straight roll.
It's 5. That's a miss.
All right, and that's what you want. So for powerful blows, low is better. This is the only time you want to roll low.
Yep.
So mark potential, because this is a 1 to 6 roll.
Yeah.
Okay? And I just kind of want to take a moment to point out that potential, was it 5? You have 5 potential blocks to cross off. And when you do, you get an advance. In this game, the idea is you're teenagers. You have so much to learn, and what do we learn by? We learn from mistakes. So every time you make a miss, you don't get what you wanted or whatever. You mark potential, and that also counts when you're taking a powerful blow. Because it's a 5. All right. So on a miss, you stand strong, mark potential as normal, and say how you weather the blow.
So sorry, could you describe the oh, it's the shockwave, right?
Yeah, it's like an energy, like you're kind of what color is it when it kind of flows to you from her? What color is this energy?
Um, I I like to think that it just kind of turns white.
Okay. Well,
So
this
that
specifically looks like crackling energy coming off of her down the stream,
uh
the same stream that you're pulling on, and it
uh
crackles straight into you.
okay, all right. So how it works? Let's see. Um, I have some circuits built into my suit that can prevent an overload. Uh, because I've had something similar happen before. Somebody tried
Oh, nice.
to do a feedback loop on me or overload me when I was draining them, and so I learned to put some overload circuits on there so that it gets tripped. I got some resistors in there. I can only take a certain amount.
Sure, that's awesome. Perfect. So yeah, so you like see it, everyone else kind of sees the energy crackle in them and flow over and just dissipate. And you can tell that Miss Destruction is looking for a way out at this point. There's no hiding this. So let's look at Mali and Wraith. What are you guys up to?
See, I am going to attempt to do a thing, and I'm not entirely sure how.
Gotcha. You're allowed to do a thing.
I want to use my powers. There's a thing called Moat Under Burn, but I'm not entirely sure how that will work.
Okay, let's take a look. So now, as a note for you, you just like everyone else, you can directly engage a threat. You don't have to involve or unleash your powers. You don't have to use one of your moves. In your case of the burn, the burn's kind of like the rule breaker that lets you do something just a little different and tweak stuff to your
Okay.
advantage generally. But you can
So
just
basically,
directly engage a threat. Yeah, what
so
are you
basically,
trying to
what
do?
I'm trying to do is to create basically a vortex-like barrier, so she can't actually escape the building.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's look at your flare. Let's see here. What? Hold on a sec. All right, hold on over that. All right, I'm gonna bring up your playbook and we'll look at it real quick. Uh,
Would that just be unleash my power?
Unleash is a little different. And I'll get to that in a second. So let's look at Moat, which is one of your burns, right?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I kept thinking of as like it would act as a barrier.
Yeah. So but now we do have to have you generate some burn first, which is fine. So not a
That's why I
problem.
was like, I didn't know exactly how this worked with the power wise. It's like, at what point do I need to use burn as opposed to a regular power?
Sure, and that's awesome. That's a good question to ask right now. So let's go into it. So let's just read Moat. So spend one burn to create a barrier that will hold back threats as long as you keep your attention on it. The GM may call for you to spend more burn if the barrier is threatened by particularly powerful enemies. So this is a kind of a gray zone. So you can spend a burn to kind of create a moat, and we're going to say um, that envelops them, stops them from leaving without them doing something. Now, for example, if we go look at Unleash, let's see. Yeah, if we look at Unleash. Here.
So what is the actual difference between wielding powers, unleashing your powers, and burn?
Sure. So let's look at that real quick. So wielding your powers, you'll notice that's under adult moves, which you guys don't have. So you
Okay.
guys are teen uh, superhero wannabes right now. You do not have focused use of your abilities yet. You haven't kind of gotten to that point where you're an expert with your own stuff. You're still learning things, and you're not an adult. You don't have the adult things. Like you'll see over there, empathize. Again, you're sociopaths, so you can't really empathize. But basically the adult moves are more focused ways of dealing with things that you can get to eventually. They come with advances. But for right now, you guys are those unfocused teens who are just trying to get their shit together and figure out how stuff works. So just ignore all those adult moves for right now.
Okay.
Now so for directly engaging a threat, let's just say you want to hit them with a big blast of electricity. Fine, that's awesome. That would be directly engaging a threat. You're not really doing anything. Unleashing your powers when you overcome an obstacle, like blast through a wall with electrify it and superheat it, and suddenly send in the cold wind and it shatters. That's an unleash. Extend your senses, reshape your environment. So like if you uh, use your energy power in some way to kind of change the world around you, that would be like an unleash. And you'll notice you roll on freak to do that. So
So if I made a barrier out of wind, that's not reshaping the environment, right?
that is different in theory. Let's look at Nova again. Let's see here. So the if you'll notice, the moat doesn't require any roll. So the reshaping or the unleash does, and it can go badly, and it's kind of a risky thing. You don't necessarily want to unleash often, because if you, for example, let's see. So let's read unleash. So when you unleash your powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses, roll plus freak. On a hit, you do it. On a 7 to 9, mark a condition, or the GM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. So with what your burn does is it's a rule breaker. It's saying you can do exactly what Unleash wants you to do with the reshape your environment, but there's no risk at all. As long as you're willing to spend a burn, you get it. There's no condition to get, and then the thing is trapped there.
Don't I
Whereas,
have to roll to use burn up there at the top? Says when you
Right.
charge up your
So
powers, roll
yeah.
plus conditions you currently have marked.
yeah, Nova's sort of had the option to pool in a bunch of that power on the front end, with some of that risk of, getting conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But then whenever they're doing anything with that power, they just have so much of it that, it's guaranteed. Like,
or at least in certain.
you'll see none of those items, have much of a role, involved with them.
Or your reality storm, for example, instead of rolling freak, you roll freak instead of danger. So
Right.
freak is generally your prime label. So theoretically, you're keeping that high. So if that's a mechanical benefit from you, then you hit him with reality storm, roll with that instead of danger. So let's go ahead and for you. Let's go ahead and let's see here. Charge up your powers. So roll plus conditions.
All right, how do I do that? Roll.
That's a good question. This is our first outing here.
Which dice button am I using on this sheet?
It's in the far right column under conditions. There's a dice button.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yeah. Just roll that. Just click on that, and it'll roll automatically for you.
Nova is unusual in that usually the more quote unquote messed up they are, the better they operate.
Yeah, because your conditions give you a higher roll. Okay, so 3. All right, so let's look at your thing real quick. Want to keep things flowing as best I can here. Let's see.
I want to miss, hold 2, burn, and mark 3 conditions.
Okay, bring that up for myself real quick. All right. Okay. So hold 2 burn, mark 3 conditions. Whatever you choose. And just and theoretically they should make some fictional.
That's what I was
sense.
trying to what would make sense here?
Yeah, exactly.
Afraid, angry, and insecure. Like every
Right.
sociopath should be.
Cool. So just click on those, and also remember to mark potential.
Sure.
Yep, because
in the far left column underneath the labels.
Oh, mark 1.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's experience points, basically.
Yeah. So you basically, again, through failure we learn is the idea here. Cool. All right. So you want to spend one of those burn to put the moat around her?
For some reason, I kept thinking that there was a hole in the ceiling. Is there not a hole in the ceiling?
There is
There
a hole in the
is,
ceiling.
but
Okay,
you have a
there is a
feeling
hole.
I'll take
That's
care
what I
of
was thinking. That's where I was going to put the thing up. Was over the roof of the building, so it'd keep her from going up that way.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay, so like
Or
a
like between us and the hole in the ceiling, so she can't actually get up there.
Okay. All
So
right.
you create like a little maelstrom up there. The
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's generally not what we're going to use a moat for, but that works for me. Let's do that.
I
cool.
was like, I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to put this thing, but it's like it sounds like it's what I need to do, so I'm just gonna put wherever I need to put it.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. So what does it look like when you suck in your power or whatever? When you get it charge yourself up, and when you create that maelstrom out there, what does it look like?
My power, whenever I use it, actually looks like my veins begin to glow a little bit of green. They pulsate like a heartbeat, and out of my hands comes a dark green smoke-like energy.
Nice.
That's
And
what I
then
use.
what does it look like up there by the hole that you made?
Up there, it looks like there's like a little flash, like little lightning and everything, and then clouds just form out of nowhere, swirling into a vortex.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So you've cut off her escape route, or
And
her
now there's
easy
just a
escape
little
route
bit of
at least.
flashing light and a little bit of wind.
Nice. Yeah, basically, to anyone with any degree of intelligence, it's that's a message saying, "Don't go here." Awesome. All right. How about Wraith? What are you up to, bud?
So seeing as her planned escape route is down, and that she dropped when she was blinded a little bit, I'm going to further the blinding and just wrap a darkness around her head so that she can't see anything.
Gotcha. All right. So this will probably be an unleash.
Probably an unleash.
All right. So go ahead and roll plus freak, please.
Which I thought I clicked on. What? Hold on a second. Let me have the playbook popped out, and I don't think that's working right.
All right. All right. So unleash 7 to 9 mark condition, or I'll tell you how things are temporary or unstable. Which would you want?
I can mark a condition.
All right. What are you gonna mark?
I'm gonna mark. I'll go with angry because she just needs to cooperate with us, and we can all go home.
Nice. All right. Cool. All right. So yeah. So you basically what does it look like? Does the tendrils of darkness reach out from your cloak and kind of envelop her head?
Yeah. So usually, I'll move the cloak, and the cloak will, send out shadow from it. And it's almost as if it reaches out to her, and then a small portion detaches and then just forms around her head.
Excellent. So she when you guys originally got your licks in, she marked insecure. So another thing, just so you understand, NPCs, villains particularly, have conditions just like you. The more conditions, the more powerful they are, in that the more they can take from you guys. So basically, one condition was marked, and she is not sure what's going on. Right now, she's blinded. She's blinded, sucked dry of a bunch of her power, and then blinded again. First with light, then with darkness. There's this kind of like yin yang attack going on here, and she basically is not terrified, but again she knows that she's about to be on the losing side of a conflict, and her escape route is cut off. She starts flailing around. You see her cyber limbs start kind of growing to like 5 times her size and flailing around. It does hit one of the columns that's in the room, and some debris starts flying. You see the part of the column is starting to collapse. There's a group of kids who couldn't get out on the floor nearby it. They're potentially in danger, and she starts kind of just careening in another direction entirely, just at random. Um, and it's she's actually going towards the security guard, who has since dropped his useless gun and is just kind of like cowering as you can imagine like the same look of a person's face is like a bull coming towards him, that kind of thing. So what do you do?
I think I would step up and try and basically bull rush her to knock her off her course.
Okay, so you're trying to defend the security guard.
Could I finagle that into engaging the threat?
You can do that, but then the guy getting hurt is on the table.
Fair enough. I'll try and defend.
Yeah. So again, what the system is looking for is, what are you trying to do? What's your goal here? That's the question it's asking, and then we decide what move is triggered, if a move is triggered, by answering that question. So your question is, you're actually trying to do this to make sure that the guy doesn't get hurt. You actually don't want to hurt her necessarily. If that's a supplemental win on your behalf, that's awesome. But the important part is making sure this guy doesn't get bulldozed over by this thing that probably weighs 1,000 pounds. So cool. What does it look like when she is zipping over there?
She kind of leaves an after image, like a sunburst.
Oh,
So she has that like weird dark after image that she was there, and then pretty much she's then just there. So she's running at a point to where theoretically speed of light, but not really. Just really fast.
Again, don't worry about science. This is the world of Halcyon City, of comic books and superhero movies. Don't worry about how this goes. You're fine.
So yeah, so you see like almost a cartoonish outline of Nyx in that black sheen around it, and then you see her. Then after that, she's kind of glowing a little bit as she's trying to tackle this destruction.
All right. So okay, roll with Savior. You're trying to defend.
Gonna be a miss.
All right, mark potential. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I'll also read it since again this is the first time using this one. When you defend someone or something from an immediate threat, which this was, roll plus Savior. For NPC threats, which this is, on a hit you keep them safe and choose one. On a 7 to 9, it costs you. Expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. Let's see here. So hit you safe and choose one. And if you had hit, you could choose from this in the pool here. You can also defend from another PC if there's PC on PC interaction going here. For PC threats on a hit, give them -2 to the roll, so you're basically interfering. On a 7-9, you expose yourself to cost distribution, etc. Okay. So this is a miss. So you kind of end up getting taken along for the ride as you're kind of trying to pull her along, and take her off the trajectory. You actually become part of the ramming, and next thing you know, you're basically on top of this guy. And the best you can do is basically, grab him and roll and try to help absorb some of that impact. But otherwise, she had no target in mind, so she's just kind of careening past you on her blinded, movement, and is past you at this point. So the guy is probably hurt a bit. He may have broken something, but he could have been bulldozed. Why don't you take a powerful blow also?
Okay.
The roll plus conditions.
2.
2. All right. Mark potential, and you're good. So how do you weather this blow?
She is naturally has regeneration power, but I would say that she took the brunt of the hit for the guard. So I finagled him in front of me, and then like took the brunt of the hit on the column or the wall. And then she probably broke like 4 or 5 bones, but you just see him mend in front of you.
Ooh, that looks nasty. Is there blood? Does blood, psh, 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 and suddenly close up? Or
yeah, sure, I like it. There's blood all over the place, and then all the blood that was on her costume would get sucked back into her body when the bones heal, but everything that was outside stays outside.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right, neat. All right, Billy, you haven't. Leech hasn't done anything in a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute. Okay, so you got the security guard. There's the kids yet.
Yep, columns potentially coming down.
Yep.
I mentioned something about being able to get the kids.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I must have missed that.
No, but I didn't say anything yet. But I'll take care of them. As I see your gaze go over that way.
Gotcha. And you can just decide to help each other too. This is another thing. If one wants
Sure.
to take the point and the other
Right.
wants to
Okay, so
potentially
Leech
help.
says, "Hey Wraith, why don't you go help those kids, and I'll go after her."
Consider it done.
Let's use a little bit of that leadership skills.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, go. What you're gonna do? What's it look like going after her then, Leech?
Okay, yeah, we can resolve that first. I'm going to, let's see. That's a good question.
Now
Let
here's
me find my playbook again real quick.
yeah. So now I know you guys are kind of into it here, but so one of the things that can also be like a before battle is a couple things: to pierce the mask and assess the situation. That kind of give you some more stuff.
Yeah.
You could still pierce her mask right now, but I don't think it. I don't think you need any of those answers personally. So those don't really help you. Um, so otherwise, yeah. If you basically it's like directly engage her, unleash your powers on her. Um, let's see. Do you have a move? Actually, I don't think you have a move that really helps this situation.
No, that's what I was just looking at the moves I
For your
took, and they don't
playbook.
really help. Yeah. Um, let's see.
I mean, there's nothing
Um,
stopping you from trying to, just absorb more vitality from her.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think I will do that just to get her to like this time instead of targeting her exosuit, I'll target her.
Oh, nice. The meat inside there.
Exactly. Yeah. So now I've drained most of the bulk of the destructive power of the suit. Now I just need to drain the person inside.
Nice.
All right. So that's going to be directly engage again. Is that right?
Yep. Perfect. You're
All right.
learning
So
already.
plus
Good
danger.
job.
Oh no! That
More
is a
potential. You're
miss.
getting better every time. All right. Mark potential. All right. Let's see here. So you miss. Um, I'm gonna say you're kind of as your the tendrils of your power kind of touch her and try to you kind of feel that you can tell me, you can correct me if I'm wrong. My impression of it is because it's like an energy that's going into you it's like it feels like you can almost feel like this rejuvenation type of feel, like a warmth, like you were hungry and now you're not type of feeling as it's coming as her vitality is coming into you.
Yeah.
As you do that, you also get some of her terror. So you're
Ooh, am I afraid?
yeah, you're gonna mark afraid if you haven't marked it already.
Sweet.
So so you basically you still, I'll say you still suck some of her power off. You can kind of feel her mind as you're doing that. I'm assuming there's some kind of link when you do that with the person. And you definitely feel her fear. So you'll mark afraid, and she's finished careening around at this point. Now she is trying to get her stuff together. You see her kind of and you know this because she kind of takes on a stance of, both feet down, at a good, like a part, like this is like basic combat training that anybody would go through. It's like, okay, get your firm footing, figure out where you are, figure out what you need to do, and suddenly, the shadow power is dissipating at this point, and she's starting to get her what I'm looking for. English is failing me.
Bearings.
Vision.
Bearings. Thank you.
Bearings.
Good job. Excellent. All right. So, Wraith, how are you helping those kids?
So one of the things Wraith can do is create these shadow portals, and he's going to create one directly above them to catch the falling debris.
Ooh, so it's like like the game Portal.
That's awesome.
Right,
Oh.
and it's gonna redirect, onto probably some display, but he's not concerned about that right now.
Can you redirect it on top of her?
Oh,
In theory, but I think
we can do that for flavor.
I see her just pulling you over right now, and I don't want to kill the security guard or you either.
Killing civilians bad.
I'll be fine. Security guard, not so much.
So I'm going to try to defend.
All right. Yeah, roll plus savior, please.
Savior. Situational bonus. I mean,
You guys are
it'd be
learning
nice
so
if
much.
Someone could help a little bit.
Yeah. I want to help. So maybe part of my miss is that I'm a little bit distracted because I'm watching Wraith, and I say, "Hey, watch out for the thing! Watch out for that distraction over there!" Ironically, distracting myself from what I'm supposed to be doing.
The irony
Fair.
was not lost on VVs. Awesome. All right. Okay. You have two team left. That becomes a 7.
So I can expose myself to danger or escalate the situation.
Sure.
I think I can expose myself to danger because maybe I mistarget that second portal a little bit too close to myself.
Okay.
And
now you choose one from the list.
do I choose one from the list too? Okay.
Yeah. On a hit, you keep them safe and choose one.
I'm going to stay angry. So I'm going to take influence over one of the kids I'm protecting.
Oh,
I think it's Claire, one of the mean girls.
nice. Awesome. All right, write that down.
She's in the popular group, but they're in the catty popular group that are just generally unlikable. They're generally just mean to everyone.
That's the word we
they're all
wanted to
mean
use.
together. They're all mean to each other, but they all stay together. So,
all right, awesome, cool. Yeah. So, and just to kind of get you guys also up to speed. So, we'll be getting into influence very shortly, actually. But basically, again, influence is powerful. It's a powerful thing. All adults have it over you by default, and it's a way to sway different things from happening. Again, we'll see as we get into it. All right, so you have influence over Claire, and they're safe. And because you kind of portaled the stuff a little too close to you, you've got to move closer in the direction of misdestruction.
okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be you would have been crushed. So you have to move to that direction.
Yeah. So I think you see me do a not very acrobatic diving, roll, slide, fall away from the debris.
Awesome.
Does the rolling help?
Cool.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say, luckily, the shadow covers most of the embarrassment that I feel.
as it should. So before I let Miss Destruction do her thing, what's Molly doing?
Molly is standing there with his hands in the air, holding on to that damn maelstrom overhead. Who is physically engaged with her right now?
Nix.
It was
I was
Or
me.
close.
Nix was the one that tried and missed. Well, it was
I actually-
defending, but not engaged.
So this is like something I'm standing there concentrating and holding, which is kind of what it says, but I'm still able to do something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, for purposes of this, yeah, if you want to, I'll give it, it'll dissipate. But for this, yeah, if you want to do something else, please do.
I do kind of want to hit her with a lightning bolt.
Nice lightning bolt. You're not
Awesome.
going to actually throw tinfoil at her. This is an actual lightning bolt.
Is this
Please tell me someone got that reference.
I got it.
Thank you so much. Cool.
Not
All
as
right.
good as the magic missile, but it's pretty identifiable.
Awesome. All right. So is this like what does this look like? Is this like you see it kind of forming on his hands and suddenly lashes over?
Since the maelstrom is already up there, I'm just going to start collecting electricity from that and just have it come down, strike me, and then over to her.
Oh, that is so cool.
Nice.
So this thing is dissipating. So its power is slowly going away, but it still has power up there. So yeah, this is almost acting like again the cloud overhead. It's all of a sudden the blink of an eye. So go ahead and directly engage. Roll with danger, please.
Dang. Any penalties? Ah. Okay. Popped out, that's why.
Will the buttons not interact when it's popped out of the
I
screen?
do have the afraid condition, which is -2. Is it going to apply that automatically?
Yeah, the math is already done for you.
Okay. Do I actually need to click the little box next to the one next to danger?
Next to basically click the
No,
roll
no,
box next to danger.
that's to lock. The little checkbox next to the labels is to lock them.
Yep. Yeah, so just the roll button should be left there.
Hey, awesome.
Nice.
All right, we do have 2 left. Does anyone want to make that a 10? 2 Two teams.
So I'm headed in the general direction, but I don't know if I have anything that's necessarily appropriate.
Yeah, Nix, you're kind of close. You could maybe wrap your legs around
Yeah.
her. Or
I think I want to do the quintessential grab a piece of debris and throw it at her to stop her momentarily.
okay, so kind of keep her in the one place where the lightning bolts are immediately going to.
Yeah,
Awesome.
maximum damage.
Maximum damage, maximum accuracy. Perfect. All right, so that you take the big chunk of debris, throw it, kind of impacts her, and she's just getting her bearings. I relearned that word just a few minutes ago, as you know. And she's just getting her bearings, and suddenly she's hit with a freaking chunk of rock. Looks over at you, and next thing, so you get a 10. On a 10, pick 2 from the list.
Is that me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep, Molly. Because you directly engage successfully with a 10 plus.
2 from the list. Yeah. I will take her ability to move away from her.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
I guess I create an opportunity.
Well, because I'll put this out there. Because you're directly engaged means in some way you're trading blows.
Okay.
You can choose resist or avoid blows if you want to play it real safe.
Then I would avoid blows. I am a delicate flower.
All right, you avoid
Channel
blows
lightning.
and you take her ability to move. So she's now basically her muscles. It basically as a thing as lightning bolt hits, you see kind of like that arcing all over her whole body. Every piece of cybernetic gear she has is now locked. And it's
like
just
Joan Cusack from Addams Family.
oh yeah, very good. I got that one. I understood your reference. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you see the lightning arcing over her body, and it's obvious to everyone now that she can't move. She's frozen. There's that meat part of her that can, and even that's kind of like you can see like the little bit of flesh you see. The muscles are kind of pulsating, and but she's not going anywhere. So you basically hit her with angry, which is her last condition. So I'm going to say, because you're the one who finished her off, she lashes out at you, Molly. She's like, you know, all these powers, you could use them for something good, make some money. And basically, she is trying to, she's challenging your labels. She's trying to up your freak and lower your, what's sort of the savior. So do you resist this? Do you accept that? Yeah, that kind of better describes you, and therefore accept it, or are you going to fight these labels? This label change.
What was it? Increase freak and reduce what?
Increase freak, reduce savior.
I will resist that.
Okay.
I
cool.
have more than the sum of my powers.
All right. Cool. All right. So to resist that, we need to make a roll. Again, influence is very important. So basically, when you're trying to reject her her influence. So let's see. There actually should be a button to reject influence somewhere on there. Let's see here.
I don't see a button.
Yeah, let me see. I haven't character sheet.
Oh, it's the flat 2d6 button.
There you go.
Under the labels.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Click on that. And we'll see how you do.
Any opponent bonuses or penalties?
Nope. This is just a flat roll. Ooh,
Oh,
damn.
Dang.
Nice, 10 plus. So, okay, so when you reject someone's influence, roll. On a hit, you successfully hold to yourself and tune them out. On 10 plus, choose 2 from the list. You can clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. You can shift one label up and one label down, your choice. Or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them. You can do 2 of those. For purposes, I would suggest the first two.
Yep. What was the first two again?
The first one was clear condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. And then the second one, shift one label up, one label down, your choice. Now you're in control.
Are these listed anywhere on this?
It's
They're
on the
at the
bottom.
very bottom of that influence column.
Ah.
Sorry about that. Are you guys now pinging to the place?
No, it got there.
Okay, good.
Just took a second. I just learned that shortcut the other day. Well, I say the other day,
So
month and a half or so ago.
I actually got it
I
from
would
you.
need to do. I would need to do something to prove that I'm a savior.
Prove that you're not the person that they think you are, or things aren't the way that they are trying to tell you things are. So again, you can say something witty back to them, or whatever.
I'm rubbering your glue.
Very. I'll let that go. Very teenage thing to say. You're good. Unless you want to go for something wittier, that will do the trick. That will complete this move.
I can't think of anything witty to say about that other than it's like I have more than the sum of my powers.
Nice. All right. Do you want to shift a label up and label down? You can go as high as +3 or -2
I have to
with your
move
labels.
one of them up and then both. I have to do both, right? Up and down.
Yep, you have to. By every time you shift, you're going to do both, unless it's an advance that allows you to just raise one label and leave the others alone.
Raise savior.
Because I think the theory behind that is the kids are malleable.
Yeah, so you'll notice that
they respond to peer pressure and everything else, and all of their stats can change in one session.
Yeah, so like these are not stats like you're used to thinking. I'm like, this is my dexterity, this is my wisdom, this is my daring, this is my whatever. These are you're still teenagers. You don't have stats. You just have the way you think about yourself, and that's eventually as you progress into adulthood, that's going to change to something else. But right now, this is how you view yourself. Am I more of a freak? Am I all about my powers, or am I just a normal guy trying to do what anyone else in my situation would do? This is this is you trying to figure yourself out.
I raise savior by 1 and reduce mundane by 1.
Okay, actually, you can only go -2 on mundane. So you have to
It's
choose a
a
different
-2.
one.
It's at -2 right now.
Oh, you didn't. It was -1 before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at your sheet now. Okay, cool, perfect, excellent. All right, so you do that, and yeah, she at this point she is out of control, and she just basically drops to the ground. Smoke starts coming off of her as all her stuff is fried. People are looking around. Finally, the police get here, like real police, the anti supervillain police get here with their actual energy weapons, stuff like that.
So I'll ask the group: do we stick around or do we ghost when the police show up?
I'm obligated to stay.
By law, you are obligated to stay at any scene of a crime.
You have to fill out a report.
Yep.
All right, so are you all staying then?
If one stays, we all should stay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll stay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you see,
I mean, my legacy is well known, so.
Yep. So yeah,
that's good.
So as things start to calm down here, you guys take a look around, and things are in shambles. There's shards of like concrete and glass and metal all over the place. The column seems to be holding itself. The chunk that came out is now just it's found its place on the floor over there. There are these kids that are bewildered. There's one of them's crying. The other two are just kind of holding all the rest of them all together. This little group that almost got crushed. The security guard is just he kind of looks at Nyx, and you can tell his arm is broken. He's holding it. He's supporting it, for lack of an actual sling. And he looks to Nyx, and you can see the tears in his eyes. And he's like, she would have killed me. She would have ripped me limb from limb. She could have. he's just losing it right in front of you. He's like, "Thank you so much."
No problem.
And it's just about this point, Mr. What's his face, the teacher bursts in, and he's just, you can see if he had anything in his bladder, he'd wet his pants, given that the scene he's seeing, and yet another of his field trips has gone completely off the rails and wonky. Things calm down, but he's basically kept away from the scene by the super police, we'll call them, for lack of a better term for the moment. Everything's going back to normal. Suddenly you hear and all of a sudden, like, cheers erupt. People are kind of, the fugue of the terror of the shock are wearing off, and it's just become obvious that they, you know, they're here now because these people intervene, type of thing. So this is a point where, actually, I think we're past our agreed break time. Is it okay if we take a quick break? I hate to break the momentum, but I don't want to go back on my promise to
I mean,
keep an 8:30 break time.
just
I think
for,
this is perfect.
yeah, it's
Yep.
perfect, and I'll get to something when we get back.
Okay, why don't you guys take 5, and
Okay.
we'll come back and we'll finish out this scene and get you onto some home time there.
Okay.
And we're back. All right. So yeah, when we left our fabulous heroes, they just gotten done defeating Mistis Construction. Police come in. They're the triumph from the bystanders who are now safe, and from anything that might have happened had disconstruction been let to do what she wanted. Trying to get comfy, and yes, things are coming together. The police are leaving you guys alone at the moment. They're kind of just kind of making a cordon around and taking possession or taking custody of Mistis Construction. And that gives you guys the ability to, if you want, you don't have to. You can engage in. Here, bring it up. Down here.
Team moves.
Team mechanics.
I see.
And all of them are slightly different.
Yeah. You guys each have your celebratory thing. So if you look on your playbook, so for example, for Skyon, team move for Skyon. When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if you've earned their respect. If you have, take influence over them and mark potential. If you have not, give them influence over you and mark potential. So basically, this is one big web of things coming together. Each person gets to respond to the other person's triumphant celebration moves. So to trigger this, you basically have to celebrate. They say it's supposed to be beyond just high five, but get together and actually celebrate that you actually beat this supervillain.
I mean, do we do it here or do we do it at the the local ice cream shop?
Is there a pink berry?
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds delicious.
I don't either, but yes, it does sound delicious. What is it? I have to know now.
It's a yogurt place. I think they're only called.
That sounds awesome.
It's like a lemon tree or just any of those random froyo places.
Is there a Tim
Froyo.
Hortons?
Nope,
We
we
could
can
get some
totally
donut
do
holes from
that.
Tim Hortons.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
All right, it's okay. Let's do that. So, you guys fill out the proper forms and everything here. Leech has to give a thumbprint, and basically, identify, give like a identification card to one of the cops, and they take that information down and send you on your way. So, you guys are basically gonna kind of fade into the crowd and change back and join your groups, or what?
How do we fade into a crowd?
I mean, we can just leave, and I'll portal us, somewhere where we can change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
That.
Or
Perfect.
to Pinkberry. I like this. Pinkberry
No,
speak up.
because
we don't want to
like-
skip the rest of the museum.
yeah, Mr. Smith already has enough issues. We don't want to give him a heart attack by losing 4 students.
But at least it wasn't Michael this time.
But it
Well,
wasn't
no.
Michael.
Michael's in an alternate universe right now, so
So what is our excuse we're going to give to him as to why we were separated?
We just ran.
it was
when,
it was people ran in
during all the chaos. We hid in a room like we're supposed to do at school.
There you go.
Do we have a
door frame?
Do we have a base?
We never really covered that.
I wanted to cover. Well, I specifically wanted to cover that here because again, what I want you guys to do is, let's build the world together. I don't want any one person to kind of dictate, including myself, to dictate this to anyone else. Let's come up with something. So you each have your backgrounds. That can add to this. Do you have a base? Is there a place that one of you or more of you, or even combined powers, or even something like that would let you like Wraith? Can you you can make a portal to places you've been, right? That's one of your powers. Can it be a place that's relatively inaccessible to other people, like top of a building, something like that, or
I totally could, but I wouldn't want to restrict it from the other members of the group.
Sure. Yeah, but you get the idea.
It doesn't have to
Oh,
be something that only I can get to.
Right.
Oh, sure, I see. Yeah.
It has to be something that others can get to as well, and maybe it's just out of the way.
Yeah.
Is
Awesome.
there like a empty community center that's no longer being used?
Well, on
Yeah.
one of my abilities or whatever, my lineage is or moves, whatever the hell they're called. I do have all the best stuff where I have access to caches all over the city, like hidden caches.
Okay. You want to make one of them
So
like a warehouse or something, or
it could have been an old Children of the Light supply depot that's been abandoned
okay,
that nobody uses.
That's cool.
sounds good to me. How about anybody else?
I'm up for
Um, I think that sounds good. The closest I would have is like maybe like we could go to a cousin's house of mine or something, but I think it's best if we avoid social interaction with the villainous side of my family completely.
Right.
It's better for the parole officer for certain.
Right. I mean, unless I certainly don't want to do something in the halfway house where I stay because there's, adults and tons of people around all the time.
So, are you thinking next that we do that after school, as we end up meeting
I
back there?
assumed that that the field trip was like you're done with the field trip, you go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good.
All I need to know is in the area around this abandoned depot / cache, is there a pinkberry? That's all I need to know.
It is an old abandoned pinkberry.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh my! Let's bring it
Oh
all
my
in.
gosh.
That's
So
awesome.
we've turned the machine back on.
Oh.
We order the materials through Amazon.
I figured out how to make a generator that's powered by Molly's lightning.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome! Holy
They're
shit,
like
that's so
little
awesome!
storage cells, batteries that we just keep on hand.
Yeah, or even power like the electricity above. It gets dark. Molly has to touch the panel over here and zip, and suddenly the light stops fading and that kind of. That's awesome. Anyway, that makes it part of you guys. This is each of you gets to build something on this. That's awesome. And
Also
then, like
parking
maybe
in some
Wraith
type
is
of a
when the lights are
solar
on,
cell.
Wraith creates a little darkness on the windows that are just in case someone's
Oh
around.
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, that way no one knows that it's still occupied.
Yeah, and
There's always a fog in this area.
nice.
Or
All
it's
right.
really windy so that people can't hear the yogurt machine going in there.
The part of the area could be close to the destroyed amusement park.
Cool.
That's why it's abandoned.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
lost it.
That
Lost
works.
all the people
clientele.
going past it, and yeah. Nice. So, all right. So, let's jump ahead. You're there. What are you doing in Vanguard Berry?
I veto that name.
Celebrating, I would assume.
All right. What does that look like? What does it look like when you guys celebrate?
I'm making the biggest sundae of violet vanilla berry yogurt, and I don't know, sprinkles and a bunch of chocolate syrup and a half a banana.
Like a sharing one, or is this just for you?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, lots of bananas. Yeah, it's a big sharing one. Making a great big old sharing sundae.
I
Awesome.
mean, Wraith has turned up the music. Assuming that Molly, deadened the sound around the building a little bit.
Thunder to quiet
Strong
the
winds,
music.
yeah.
There's a little bit of a storm going on. Yeah.
Hurricane, even though Halcyon City is not on a coastal area.
Yeah, that happens every day. That's Tuesday.
I mean,
Leech.
I think we have it. I think we have at least one, flat panel TV that's with music videos or something.
Right, yeah.
There's a foosball table.
Ooh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You could like do the little arcade thing in the background, like little arcade machines in the background on the walls.
Yeah, they're probably just abandoned there. They took some water damage, but you guys were able to kind of fix them up
Or
well
maybe,
enough.
maybe we pulled them out of the
You've been stealing
The
from
amusement
the
park.
park. Yeah.
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 Little larceny. Minor larceny. Nobody was using it anyway.
It was already claimed on the insurance form, and they're just going to demolish it. So
Yeah, there you go.
we saved it from the dumpster.
We
Exactly.
have the hot dog machine. We have the cotton candy machine. We
Oh,
have the
definitely a cotton candy
funnel
machine.
cake machine.
Popcorn machine.
I imagine
There's
it's a bit of a fire hazard with how many extension cords we have plugged into the, the couple, 6
That's-
power outlet things we have. But
That's why we do the little batteries, and I charge them up. That way you can just plug each one into their own battery.
Nice.
If we're doing that with amusement park, we have to have a skee ball.
Well,
I have to.
My
awesome.
new superhero name is Coppertop.
So we've gutted this pinkberry to make room for all of this stuff and one table for the 4 of us.
And whatever basement they're in.
perfectly fine.
Mm.
Nice. Cool. All right. So what does your celebration look like? So the ice cream, the froyo gets to the table. Spoons are at the ready. Who starts off the
Music is
true
pumping.
celebration?
It's like a never feast, never land.
Oh yeah, I
Mm.
dig in. I
Yeah.
dig in.
Bangarang.
Yeah, I mean, Wraith, definitely, is enjoying the music. He looks, a little bit more relaxed than, he does at school ever. He's like, Nix, you totally nailed her twice. She didn't stand a chance.
I'm like, oh, he's talking completely with their mouth full.
Has she ever had frozen yogurt before this? Living
Oh,
that
yeah.
sheltered existence?
Oh, well, no, not since leaving. This is the only time she's ever had any real indulgences. Going with their family and all this stuff with their foster family as well. But with their other family, not really. No, anything she could actually scrape by, she got. But yeah, Froyo, this is the best part of her day.
That's part of any day. All right, who's next? Let's celebrate. Bring it up.
I mean, I definitely say, you're the yang to my yin. You're like right on it.
Subdued.
Stating.
Yeah, eating. Just nom, nom, nom.
Yeah. I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting into character. I'm just not going to lie about it.
That's all right. Oh, Molly. What's Molly doing? How's he celebrating?
Ali has made himself a giant foot-long hot dog with all the toppings he could possibly get on there.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Now say something. Say something to the group. How awesome everybody is.
I feel like that could have gone a little bit better, but I mean, we're learning. We're getting there.
We'll count that as that's a little more negative than a celebration, but we'll count it. That's good.
Oh,
So let's say at this point you guys are bonding. This is the important part. You guys are kind of you had this victory. You're doing your celebration, which is you're enjoying the tunes. You got the froyo going, the footlong hot dog of wonderment.
Molly, it was so cool how you made that cloud up in the sky, and then you just took the lightning out of it and struck her with it. That was perfect.
I know. I was going for fog.
I was aiming for her foot. Yeah. So we'll say you guys have triggered your celebration mechanic. So let's open up your playbook. The first one
Okay.
should be on page 1.
Team move.
Yeah.
Yep. Team moves. When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, who haven't we started with first? Let's go with Steve. I think you haven't gone first to anything
Nope.
yet.
So, race, legacy, when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, tell them whether you see them as an equal. If you do, give them influence over you and mark potential. So I was doing that with Nyx. The yin yang combo was definitely to show that we were like two sides of the same coin and equals. So take influence over me and mark potential. Well, sorry, I mark potential.
What if already have influence?
So if you already have influence over me, you can shift my labels. So you can, send a label up and, shift one down.
Yeah, and this is he can't fight this because you already have power over him, and now
Can
it's
I
like double power.
look at his labels?
Yeah. You should be able to see them on the character sheet, can't you?
Oh,
Or
okay.
can you not?
Yeah, or just like just call out like during this combat or during this thing I thought you were really your freak was up, you were using your powers, and your mundane was down, some that type of thing. What just kind of What if you with
I
that
was-
just blindly? What would you say he should?
I
have
was gonna say savior for defending everybody,
Okay.
Nice.
and probably superior because he was definitely not. He's thinking of others at that point, so that's why it went down. He wasn't thinking of himself higher.
Sure.
Nice. Awesome.
Done.
Are those shiftable?
Yep, those are shiftable.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, shifted.
All right. So let's see. Who shared another one with someone else? Let's see here.
I shared with Molly.
All right.
Let's see. So mine is ask them what gives them hope for a brighter day. Hmm.
Is that it?
And then give them influence. So I don't actually know what to say right now.
You got
What
this.
makes you what makes you want to keep going? Why do you
choice.
do this?
Good choice.
For the day when Halcyon City could be finally up. Millions of years from now.
Yeah.
A mere 9 sessions from now, and everything is finally great. Fix
For
it
that
all.
moment when there are more people doing good in the world than doing bad.
Nice. Really heartfelt. So, do you already have? Let's see here.
Yeah, so you get influence over me.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Did
don't
you
like
have
each other,
influence
so-
already?
No. Oh wait, yes I did.
Okay. So shift some
Okay.
labels.
Party.
You got
I move
this.
one up. I move one down and move one up, right?
Yep. Select
Yeah.
one. Just call out one, and if it can't be moved, we'll figure it out. But actually, if it can't be, you call whatever you want out. If it can't, he'll end up taking a condition.
I would
And we'll get to why later.
raise the freak by one.
Wait, raise which one and lower which one?
Raise the freak by one.
Okay, and lower which one?
I would say mundane.
Okay.
Cool. And again, your stuff can't go higher than +3 or lower than -2. If it does,
Right.
as someone shift your labels, you take a condition as you kind of fight with the fact that you can't live up to their view on you, or you're feeling low and dumped because they think less of you than you can even go, basically. Cool. All right.
Yeah, cool.
So anyone did anyone share with Nix, or does Nix I think Nix, well, actually, Nix, did you share? We'll say you shared with Leech. It makes sense. You had the thumbs up, and eating the gift that that Leech brought your way. I think that counts as a celebratory.
This is a
Sharing.
fantastic Sunday, Leech. I appreciate this.
Hey, thanks. I do my best.
And also the stuff that you did against Miss Demolition. Great. Outstanding. This Sunday, though, on point.
All right. So ask them if they have earned your respect.
Yeah, so that was mine. Ask them if they've earned respect. If you have, I take influence over you and mark potential. If I have not, I give them influence over me and mark potential.
Okay. So ask what does that look like?
So did I do a good job? Do you think what I did in there and during the fight was worthy of being called a hero?
Oh yeah, the way you saved that security guard, that was awesome. Mad props.
Cool.
All right,
So you
all
have.
right.
So take influence over them.
Already have it.
All right. So,
So
you
you
get to
shift my labels too.
shift labels. And again, you can see this is all about, this is very fluid, your labels. This is not stats the way you know them. They're very much how you see yourself through interactions with others.
That's a good one then. I would do the same. In all honesty, I would do the savior up one and the superior down one.
Savior up one and superior down one.
Yeah, because I saw that character as more of, or that fight, you in that fight was more of a defensive. You're trying to save people as opposed to taking your own self interest in heart.
Okay, thanks.
All right. And again, just keep in mind they can't go higher than 3 or less than -2. If these shifts are going to push them, just let me know and I'll assign a condition for you.
Sure.
All right, and mark potential Nyx.
Already done.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So, out of curiosity, has anyone? How many potential have you guys marked so far?
3.
I've got 2.
1.
Okay. All right. We're eventually going to get to some advances, so hold tight. All right. Cool. All right. So the next thing I was hoping to do is kind of get since this is episode 1, session 1, I want to get a general feel of your home lives, that kind of thing, so we can see kind of both sides before we kind of advance the story to other things. We'll still touch on your home lives as we go. That'll always be a part of this. It's part of you. But I just kind of want to establish some stuff and that kind of good thing. So let's say you guys have your celebration. You break up. I think Billy Joe. I don't think we've picked you first for anything yet. So Leech.
My team move.
What's that?
Do it.
Do I get to do my team move?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? I'm so sorry. What is your team move, and who have you shared with?
When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if there is any fear in their eyes when they look at you.
Ooh. So who do you consider that you shared with in this shared instance here?
Probably Nick. Yeah, Nick's is the one I hang out with all the time.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So what does that look like?
I basically say it's like I know I've come a long way. It's like I've gained more control over my powers, and hopefully I'm not as destructive and terrifying as I was before. Do you still think I'm terrifying?
You're kidding.
So that they say no.
I
Mark-
think for other people you might be terrifying. For me, no, you're just fine.
I can see where this is going to be a problem with the team moves in this particular team.
Why?
No one's ever going to be afraid of me.
Or
It's
will that?
debatable.
It all depends on how the rolls go.
I don't know. It depends on how, like, if you unleash your
mean-
powers in a really scary way.
Yeah, do you have reality storm, don't you?
Yeah.
Basically,
So,
whenever you use that, things are going to go awfully awry in the environment.
Yeah, there's definitely a great deal of opportunity for them to be a little afraid.
What is this?
But for this one, no. So take +1 forward. So that basically means you can now add 1 to the very next roll you make, whatever that might be, and mark potential. Cool. All right. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to almost skip you, Mali. Yeah. So let's take a look at your home lives. So Leech, what does your room at the former supervillain halfway house look like?
There, it's just it's not specifically a supervillain halfway house. It's just a juvenile halfway house that they just mix the supers in with because it's Halcyon City after all. And so he does share a room with 2 other supers. They've got 2 of them in bunk beds and then 1 single twin, and he's got Leech has the bottom bunk of the bunk beds.
Cool. What are your roommates? What are their levels of villainy?
Good question. So one of them is sort of a petty thief mainly, but they use their shadow powers to aid them. And the other one, let's see, is home invasion. Broke in to steal something, and they what's their power? Their powers are fear manipulation, and so they just terrorized the residents of the houses that they broke into
In submission, and then just kind
into
of
submission, right? Like the reason that he was such a danger is because he put a few of them into, or he made some of them go through psychotic breaks because he didn't have control of his powers enough, and he lost a little. So those are my roommates, and there's a couple common rooms. There's a couple TVs, some shared video game stations, shared library. There's a bunch of magazines, subscriptions for the wide variety of interests. Yeah, it is boys and girls home. It's co-ed. I should say all ed. It's
Sure.
not single gender.
That's fine.
um,
That's awesome.
yep. And except for like sleeping roommate situations, then they're a little more strict about that.
Puritanical is where
Yeah,
we're looking.
puritanical. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. As progressive as they want to be, they can't quite. They're still a government, and they can't quite bring themselves to make that leap.
That is fair. That is fair. It's even in Helsinki, we
But
have
at
these
least
problems.
they recognize, like, okay, we have these 3 non-binaries that we're going to put together, and we have these 3 gender fluid.
Sure. That's awesome. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's just a pretty typical kind of place. It's just kind of overrun with teenagers and some adult supervision, keeping
gotcha.
everyone in line.
Cool. One of the guy, the kind of like the head of the halfway house, the one who's kind of in charge of all of you when all is said and done. His name's George. Kind of a stout-looking Asian man. Really old, like so 30s, like ancient. And he kind of you get the feeling that he likes this job. It's it makes him feel like he's actually doing something because he's watching over you guys. And he's like, hey, he's like, it just comes by. You're in the common room, probably eating a snack or something like that. And he's like, Rudy, I saw that you got a positive today. Positive being positive reports from the police. And he's like, that's awesome. That's like you've been racking them up. If we gave out gold stars here, you'd have one. But gold wouldn't last too long here.
Right. Yeah. I'll settle for my Ziploc baggie of goldfish. Yeah. Starfish.
Sure. He's like, keep it up. When you first came here, you were. I thought you were gonna go right back in. I gotta say, but I'm happy to say you proved me wrong here. You're getting it, kid, and you just keep it up. You do good things. I've got your back.
Thanks, George. That's what you said his name was, right?
Yep, George.
George. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, George. That means a lot.
Well, you're doing all the work, kid. Just keep it up. Don't disappoint me. You know what
I'll
happens
try.
when you disappoint me? It means I'm gonna have to end up doing paperwork, and I hate the paperwork, and I hate paperwork.
Oh no, then you have to make me see Anne. I don't want to see Anne.
Well, you're gonna see Anne soon anyway. She needs that check-in. They can't even hold me unaccountable to that kind of thing. But keep it up. Keep it up. Just so you know, Willie, he's the home invasion dude.
Okay.
Willie went back in. I'm sorry. So I know things can go wrong when situations change in a place like this. So I don't want you to let that set you off kilter. Just keep your head on tight. Keep it looking forward. You're gonna be doing fine. But I just wanted to let you know he's not here. I can't go into why. But I'm proud of you, kiddo. Keep it up.
Thanks. All right.
All right, Nix.
Let's say that maybe Willie had the top bunk, so now at least I get the top bunk.
there's a silver lining here.
Bonus.
That's right.
There's a silver lining. All right. So, Natalie.
Was he trying to shift my labels or anything?
Oh, good call. Oh, I didn't tell that. Let's see. That's a really good catch. Thank you. Let's see. I think he's gonna try to shift your mundane up and your danger down.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh, thank you for catching that. I have to get in the habit myself. But yeah, and please do feel free. I don't always in the back of my mind. I'm not always going to catch it, and there may be times when I just don't think that what they're saying is going to trigger the switch. But if you feel that there's something happened, please absolutely feel free to. Hey, did you just try to switch my labels, etc.
Okay.
etc. Cool. So Natalie, we'll move over to you. You kind of walk in the door from your day of heroing, and your foster dad is there. Foster mom is gone.
Okay. I would probably immediately say, "Good evening. Where's Catherine? I'm assuming I'd call her Catherine. That'd be very formal."
Sure. He's like, he kind of looks over at you, and he's an older man, in his I'd say in his 50s. He's very handy. He's kind of like he's always done very much blue collar jobs his whole life. He he has a thick calluses. He knows how to fix things. In this world where we just kind of throw shit away when it doesn't work. He's the guy that says, "Oh no, give me here. I'll let me take that." And he has the ever present screwdriver, wrench, la la la, all the good stuff. But he's like, she's just at the store getting some stuff. Why don't you have a seat, kid? You can call her mom someday. That's fine. You're not our first foster, okay?
Someday. She'll take a seat. Probably sit on the edge of the couch, as far away probably from him as she could get.
He'll be like, "Did you get anything to eat yet, or are we looking at more froyo?"
She's a big smile on her face. "Oh, I had plenty to eat."
All right. He's like, "Homework? What's homework looking like?"
Oh no, we finished homework already. We had the field trip today.
Oh, I heard about that on the news. It actually popped up at the top of the scroll banner. He's like, so I don't see any bruises.
Yeah, I don't bruise very easily.
Like,
It's
what's your foster brother's name? The super their kid.
his name. I didn't give him a name. We'll say his name is.
William, I think. Dragonheart.
Oh yeah, sorry, I did. Yeah, William. My apologies. So he'd probably call him Bill or Billy or whatever.
Okay.
Or if he wants to call him William, it doesn't matter what if he wants to go any of those routes. But those are options that he would call.
All right, let's call him William for the sake of that's his preferred version of that. He's like, the dad's like, well, yeah, William even faced her a few years ago, back when she was first starting out, back when she had a little more flesh on her body.
Nix kind of smirks at that, and I'd give a nod. I wouldn't talk about it at that point. I wouldn't give any more information. Just smirk.
Gotcha. Now, my assumption is that they do know that you're a super, and they kind of pretty much allow it.
Yeah. The idea is they know they don't approve, but realize they really can't do much about it. So it's in the open, but it's not like, hey, how did your super day go?
Sure. He's like, now I know it's hard to hurt you, but if you did, I want you to tell me. You understand, right?
Yes, I understand, and I appreciate your concern.
Very formal. I like it. He's like, he kind of eating his own dinner. It looks like leftover meatloaf, and he's like, Michael's over there. And he kind of shovels another piece into his mouth. His wife is trying to make him eat more greens, that kind of stuff. Less meat, more green veggies, that kind of stuff. And he's like, he kind of gets a smirk on his face. He's a more of the two parents. He's the more like accepting of who you are as a super,
Mm.
you know. And he's like, so did you at least show her what hitting like a girl feels like?
I did my best. I did save somebody, and that was reward enough for me. I may not have gotten the good hits in, but I was able to stop her from killing somebody else.
He's like, you kind of see him like kind of sit up more straight. He's like, you seem to. Yeah, shakes his head. I wish you hadn't been raised by those people. It's like, someone didn't die because you were there. They're show some emotion. You should be happy about this. That's incredible. You did amazing things. There are doctors out there who can't, who save less people than you do.
Yeah,
You need to
well,
be proud of yourself. If you're gonna get out there, little girl, you show you did something amazing. That guy maybe had some family.
I'm working on it.
It's okay to be proud of what you do. Just don't let it go to your head. When William let it go to his head, he was in the hospital for 4 months. And I know it's hard to put you in the hospital for 4 months, but you know what? Like, could I send your parents straight to hell? I'm sorry to say it, but they kind of messed you up a little bit. And he kind of shakes his head. He's like, just do me a favor, and just next time you help somebody, I want you to take a step back, and I want you to look in their eyes, and I want you to think about their lives, the life they get to go back to after this, whatever happens. And I want you to see that chain of events. I want you to see them going home to their family, their kid, their dog, their cat, their friends, their job, the things that make them happy that they get to do because of you. Don't lose sight of that. That's how you become a real hero. That's how you stay away from this evil crap that your parents set up for you. Not me yelling at you. I just want you to understand. You gotta get your head straight. Do you understand, Natalie?
Yes. Yes, I'll do that. I know that I'm who I am because of who they were. And every day I'm trying to make myself better in that respect and utilize what I was given to try and undo some of the injustices they created. So I'll try to take a bigger or look on the bigger side of it, on the bigger scope. And she probably
he just kind of chuckles. You always you were raised so formally and you take everything so formally. He's like, just think about it, okay? Keep it in mind.
she'll see that, okay, and then gets up, gives him a semi hug, and
awesome.
showing affection is just
not
a thing she could.
It wasn't a thing that she was probably involved in.
And she would drop in his lap a big sack just full of different candy and just smirk and go to her room.
Like, don't tell your ma.
I would visibly laugh as she goes up the stairs.
Excellent. So yeah, immediately you hear the rapper come away. Eating unhealthily is one of his favorite things. Cool.
I
Awesome.
believe that's all of ours. Do I have any of those labels shift or anything?
That is a good question. I'm gonna say, yeah. Let's say he shifted your superior down and your savior up.
Yeah, not gonna fight that. So,
Okay. Cool.
all right.
All right. How about Mali? Jonas. What happens when you walk in the door?
Well, Grandma's already been blowing up my phone before I even got home, so she knows everything's fine. One of those, if I don't answer her messages in a regular amount of time, she will come find me.
Yeah, or she assumes you're in a different dimension, that kind of thing.
And she will still try to come and find me.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly. Don't get in the way of a grandma looking for her grandkid. That's a dangerous proposition.
So basically, when I get home, it would probably be my grandma and the two aunties from the building. So we live in an apartment building.
Cool. Is it like a loud
Just
one, or is it like thin walls, or is it a?
It's actually one of those retirement towers
Oh, neat, neat.
for
It's
people of
like
a certain age.
cool. It's like assisted, not assisted living, but it's or is it called assisted living? I know what you're talking about. Basically, there's
I
help
would
there
just
if she
call them
wants it, but
retirement apartments.
gotcha. So you're surrounded by old people, basically.
Yeah,
You're one of the
but
few.
but all the ones on the floor are all from the tribe, so so we have our own little like floor that's kind of all our own.
Oh,
She's
cool.
always hanging out with I've always called them the two aunties.
Hmm.
Hang out the what?
The two aunties, like there's the two other women who live
Oh,
on
you
the
got
same
your
floor.
aunties. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's times you come home and it's like they're cooking lots and lots of food for everybody on the floor. Whoever wants to wander in and grab some food.
Cool. Is the feast happening like this epicenter of the feast happening in your apartment tonight, or is it elsewhere?
Oh, it's always here.
Oh, it's always here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so people are still coming and going. Plates are everywhere. The smells delicious. Your mouth is watering. You've had your full of froyo, and actually, I suppose you had the footlong.
Yeah,
So
I don't
but
like sugar, so
the so yeah, the aunties are flustering around. The main serving table as one plate gets cleared of stuff, another one appears magically, as if they have superpowers also, and depending on who you ask, they do. But auntie's auntie's like, oh look who came in, back to the coop.
I would give them all hugs.
Excellent,
Their names are Auntie Kettle and Auntie Walking Star, by the way.
nice. Auntie Kettle will be like, oh, does a young man have time to eat with his aunties?
You cut off for me. What did
Oh,
you say?
does the young man have time to eat with his aunties?
There's always time to eat with Auntie.
They're like, fix yourself a plate. Why don't you hang out here in the kitchen? We're still doing some cooking. And but then you notice that your grandma is apparently on break. She's sitting in front of the TV set. It's kind of something is long since gone off when she nodded off. But she hears like your voice, and he's standing here like flinch, and she stands up slowly, getting up as people of a certain age do, 40, and and she turns around and her whole face just kind of lights up as she sees you.
Oh,
Um,
go to her.
yeah, she's kind of steadying herself on the arm of the sofa, and kind of makes her way, and she gives you a big hug. She's like, "How's my little hero today?"
I only partially broke a building.
Well,
I'm getting better.
that's good. Remember that one time you had the sneeze attack when you were 7? So let's not forget that. In fact, let's not forget the entire apartment building that you destroyed. So you're coming along. She kind of gives you a wink. She you can tell that, whenever something happens where like you lose control, there's that two-part thing you see in her eyes. It's the one part that's like disappointed that you couldn't manage it, that you're not developing. There's the other part that's like, well, you know, this is a learning process and it's coming along.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm leaning on the learning process side.
No, it's
It's
like
like,
it just still feels so weird. I can't quite get over it. It just feels weird to me. I tried to call up ice today and it came out lightning.
well, your auntie Kettle over there tried to make chili and it came out slop. So these things happen to everybody. She says, "Don't tell her I said that, but don't eat the chili."
I thought that was some sort of bean paste.
She kind of nudges you and on the shoulder. She kind of leverages you over towards the table. She probably hasn't eaten yet. Maybe waiting for you to get home. And yeah, you find yourself part of this communal table. Where so it's the island and the kitchen that's free on all sides. There's the food being shuttled back and forth from the oven and the stove, and dishes being put aside and washed by the littler kids have the duty of washing the dishes as they get there, and then it's like this flow of stuff. Food comes in, plates go out, plates get washed, plates come back. It's and you find yourself in the middle of this communal river flow, if you will, of things happening. And yeah, it's just a good feeling. Your family life is fine here, at least. Um, your grandma kind of lets you do what you need to do. There's not much of a curfew. You know, she's always asking you those questions. You have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and any friend. What's going on today?
Mali is mostly a classical musician, so he's been doing the violin for the last 5 years. So he spends most of his time at free time at school and playing that.
Cool. All right. Does he like
He's aiming for Juilliard.
is it like a lone thing where he sits alone in the perfectly acoustic room, or is he in uh
2 other kids who play string instruments, we all kind of get together and just sort of jam.
yeah. Cool.
You can totally jam on a violin. You can.
Why for some reason I have this vision in my head of like of Mali doing the solo from the devil went down to Georgia from the devil side, lightning licking all over the place and stuff like that. Now that would be pretty cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, oh, that's cool. So grandma's
There is no romantic interest at all that he will ever hear about from me.
Well, she does what grandmas do. Every nice grandma that's ever been in the history of being. She wants you to have somebody. She doesn't want you to be alone, and she knows she's not going to be around forever. That kind of thing, and that's where that motivation comes from. Beyond the fact that that's what all grandmas ask. Oh, boyfriend, girlfriend, la la la. When do you get married? I'm 17, Granny.
I'm 16. I'm 4 years past my childbearing age.
So yeah, those kind of questions, and what do you call it? She's like, well, what was that?
The ever important fry bread station on the counter.
Yep.
Nice.
Gotta have that fry bread.
Gotta have that.
Don't you make me hungry, people! Come on, stop! No more froyo, no footlong hot dogs, no fry bread. You're killing me, people. All right. So yeah, the only other thing that she's like, she asked you about her homework. Do you got any homework tonight? You stay up till the wee hours again?
Says I have calculus homework, but I don't understand most of it.
Well, and I'm assuming do the aunties do or do not know about Mali?
The aunties do.
The aunties do. So as like as it's just like the aunties and her staying there as like the stuff people ebb and flow out as they ebb out. They'll be like can take some time out of heroin to go and get a tutor. Surely one of your friends knows calculus a little better than you. You gotta hang out together doing that stuff. Why don't you ask me a couple calculus questions? Because you're not failing on our watch. We can tell you that. And you're going to college. That's coming from Auntie Morningstar.
Says, yes, but a college away or here.
Yeah, they don't even want to answer that question. They're not ready for that answer yet.
Because you got Hoko here. You
Awesome. Cool. So that's what your night looks like. It's very
Jonas would end his night with going into his room and writing an email to his mother, telling her about his day. He does every week.
gotcha. All right. Cool. What's Wraith's home like? Like what happens when he walks in the door?
So usually his dad Roger is there. His mom Chloe owns a restaurant that she was a chef at, and then bought a little French restaurant downtown, a little bit higher class. She's never home in the evening. If it is like the restaurant's been closed or something for some reason. And then his little sister Katie usually shows up. She just became a freshman, so unfortunately she's around at school all too often. She's on like the JV cheer squad, but given that Cage doesn't exactly hang out at the sports events, he doesn't necessarily see her at those.
So who in your family knows about your alter ego?
Right now I think it's just Katie. Like he's kept it from his parents because he doesn't quite understand it. Like why, he got the powers and, why did the, shadow, choose him?
Gotcha.
And Katie just happened to see him when he was, crawling back in the window one night. He's usually pretty good about, avoiding the parents, but, it's kind of hard to avoid a snoopy little sister.
Cool.
And, the parents might be okay, but, there's just like the danger aspect,
Oh, sure. What parent wants their kid to be facing?
Yeah, dad's
cyborgs?
just worried about me getting into, a good college, he's an accountant. He wants me to do something, math related. I work at mom's shop or, mom's, restaurant, part-time, whenever I can. She doesn't care what I am as long as, I'm doing something I like she does.
Cool. So, let's see. So does Katie ever like blackmail you?
She does on occasion. Especially now that she's in the know and she sees me at school and she knows, when I've missed 2 classes and, no one's reported that back to my parents yet. She'll sometimes, hold that over my head for a while.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. So you walk in, door closed behind you. Dad isn't around either. He must be on a errand of some kind. Katie, however, is there, and she's on her phone, texting and tweeting, and she kind of looks up at you, and she's like, "So, how's the Violet Vanguard today? Do anything fun?"
Just save some of my classmates from being killed by Mrs. Deconstruction.
Did you? Did you really? She's younger, I'm assuming. I'm playing her younger.
Yeah, she's younger.
Okay.
I'm like, did you do anything besides, tweet about the Kardashians? Huh?
Yeah, welcome to 2018, bro. They want their tweets back. Like, she kind of like just gives you the look. She's like, no, but it just so happens that my friend Betsy and Fiona are big fans of the VB. It just so happens. I was wondering if maybe I could get like a photo op with one of them. That'd really help me out here.
Like,
Maybe at school. Wouldn't that be cool, bro?
and colossally inconvenient.
Oh, come on.
What part of him trying to, like, graduate high school like a normal kid do you miss?
Okay. He's like,
Like, hot after school Thursday.
after school Thursday, Leech.
Okay.
Want a selfie with Leech. After school Thursday.
Oh,
Or maybe, what did I find here? Oh, it's like you're never in the same room and Wraith is. It's so weird, Mom and Dad.
that Superman theory's been totally disproven.
Like, just do it. I won't give you a hard time, all right?
I'll ask him.
Okay, and VV is trending today on Twitter. Just say no. She shows you the phone. She's like, "Are you sure I can't just manage your fan site? I do a good job."
Like, not for a while. Let me figure out how to tell Mom and Dad.
Well,
I mean, hell, it took me 3 years to come out to them, let alone now with the whole superhero stuff. They're gonna flip.
like, come on. Like, she kind of shows you what she actually pinches and moves the thing. So you can kind of see the Twitter page. It's not done yet, but I just have one more banner to go. It's like,
I look at it, I'm like, damn, sis, that's pretty good. Like,
yeah.
let me check with the rest of them. I mean, at some point we're gonna need to, I don't know. I hate to say that, sound like dad or mom, but at some point we're gonna need to monetize this. But I mean, we have expenses. We just do.
It's a lot of froyo.
It's like froyo and hot
We got
dogs.
to pay for supplies. We have the occasional repair bill that they try and stick us with.
Are you seriously talking about merch? Because I can totally make a thing for that too.
Just not yet. Just hold off on that.
Oh, he's like, immediately you've now kicked it into motion.
I mean, I've already seen the T-shirts on Etsy that someone's selling, and it'd be kind of nice for them to like actually get the colors right.
Well, I'll work on it. He's like, oh, by the way, Mom and Dad are kind of wondering what's keeping you late lately. I told them you had a boyfriend that you didn't want to talk about.
You could have told him calculus. You could have told him.
I mean, she's
art
like, don't
project I need to work
get me
on.
wrong, calculus is more believable than a new good boyfriend, but I figure, shock him a little.
You have been horrible ever since you became a freshman.
I was horrible long before that.
I don't
bro.
understand how I don't even see you in the hall that yet you can tell like who I've been checking out.
Oh, I see you. It's my superpower. I go unnoticed by bros. Don't make any ho comment. And that sends an extra shiver up your spine. That's
Right.
That's TMI you don't want to hear about from your freshman sister.
like you're still 15.
Oh, just so you know, his name's Eric. The next time Mom and Dad ask you. And he wants to be a doctor. I had to give details, okay? Mom and Dad just don't stop at what's keeping him late at night, alright? So remember, Eric, doctor. We have to get the lie straight. Do you understand? Bro? Just say yes.
Fine. Let's see what I tell them next time they ask something about you.
Oh, I'm just their little angel.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes. Can't
That's
do any
what you'd
wrong.
like them to think.
She's like the picture of perfection.
I just imagine there being a picture in the background, on the mantle that has her in the same pose.
Exactly. That's probably her signature cutesy thing. Awesome. That's perfect. Yes, definitely up on the mantle.
Like, did they leave something to eat?
Yeah, some cold pizzas in there. Just heat it up.
Like, and I just shake my head as I'm going into the kitchen. I'm like, you think with a mom as a chef, there'd be, fancy food in the house.
Well, just try to bring more home when you work there. She's okay with you taking the extras.
Like those crepes. As I'm opening the pizza and just grabbing a couple, cold slices.
Yeah, the irony as you chow down on the cold slices, the irony of having a chef for a mom is not lost on you here at this point. Cool.
And I'll just, head to my room.
All right, and that's your home lives. Woo.
Yeah.
So, just to keep us on schedule. So we have an end of session move for each of you. And basically, this is at the end of every session. Choose one. I'm gonna go over. At the end of every session, choose one. Grow closer to the team. Explain who made you feel welcome. Give influence to that character and clear condition or mark potential. Grow into an image of your own image of yourself. Explain how you see yourself and why. Shift one label up and another down of your choice. Or grow away from the team. Explain why you feel detached. Take influence over you away from another character. Let's start with Nyx. I don't think we've you first in a bit. Which of the three most describes this?
I think I would grow closer to the team.
Okay.
And I think on that one we're gonna go with probably Mali, because he and I were working well as a team and just kind of knew each other, what each other was expecting. I stopped her with the debris, and he knew to strike her with the electricity right then. So I think that grew, at least if nothing else, us closer to the team.
Cool. All right. So I think you are. She already has influence over you.
Yeah.
Or he already has influence. I'm sorry. So he can shift labels. I don't think Steve. Give me a rules lawyer on this one. Do you have to switch labels if you don't want to? Or is that a necessary, or is that can shift labels?
Anytime there's an exchange of influence like that, and they already have influence, they do switch labels.
I mean, can someone say I don't want to switch labels? I don't want to, even though I'm able to.
Like I like where he's currently sitting as.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I'll look that up, but just for kicks. So okay. Molly, why don't you switch labels for Nyx?
That's how I was just looking at it. It's like, okay.
It looks like it should be immediate. At the bottom of the influence column, it says if you have influence over a teammate and you would gain influence over them again, immediately shift one of their labels up and one of their labels down.
Oh, so you have to.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's go for it. No pressure.
And you said I'm marking potential as well.
Let's see here.
No,
character and
yeah.
Or mark potential. Give influence to that character in clear condition or mark.
Or mark clear condition or mark potential. Gotcha.
Yep. All right.
I'll go ahead and mark my potential then.
No pressure.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of like the way mine are sitting too, but yeah, it's got to get moved. So.
Well, I'm going to raise freak by 1.
Go ahead and raise freak.
Yeah.
And lower what?
I'll raise lower mundane.
Cool.
Probably good. Probably the best choice on that one.
Nyx is not being a filter for me.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Molly.
An enabler.
Molly, are you feeling growing close to the team, growing your image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I would go with the image of myself, actually.
Oh, cool. All right, so explain how you see yourself and why, and then shift one label up and another down.
I would actually see Molly as trying to be more direct, while also still trying to be as.
Got this.
I would raise mundane by 1,
Okay, and lower what?
savior by 1.
Okay, cool. Do so. All right. Let's see. Wraith. Grow close to the team in the image of yourself, or away from the team.
I'm gonna say closer to the team.
Cool. Who made you feel welcome?
I think working with Leech during the fight definitely, made me feel like, he had my back, if something, should go wrong.
Cool.
So I'll give influence to him.
And Leech, is Wraith the one you didn't have influence over already?
No, I already had influence over Wraith.
Okay, then
So
switch
I'm
labels.
Yep, I'm going
Clearing
to.
my angry.
Let's see. Gonna bump his. Let's see. Okay, so thinking back over the course of the battle, I'm gonna shift your freak up and your mundane down.
Oh, you're actually doing it for
And
me.
I actually did it.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you Leech? Did you switch his on his sheet?
I did accidentally. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It's fine.
All right, just keep that in mind. Wraith.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, that leaves Leech. Have you grown close to the team, into the image of yourself, or away from the team this session?
I feel like I grew into my own image of myself this time. I think, especially the little talk that George gave me when I got back home made me feel pretty special, and made me feel like raising my savior up and my mundane down.
Cool. Perfect. All right. So now I know this is very much a learning session. So things are going to go a lot faster now that we're once we get into the swing of things. You guys now understand about the labels, how those raise and lower. You get an idea of how influence works. Uh, Soon, next session, I'm going to try to kind of maneuver us so we try to use influence more. When you, as you can tell from like just looking at the influence moves, like when you have influence over someone, you can take +1 to all moves on them, that kind of thing. This is important, and you can take advantage of influence over someone by helping them, inflicting conditions as you like. You have a lot of control over them. You can do a good amount of change to them as you like. So it's a very powerful thing to have on someone, as you've seen, just by switching labels, which is pretty amazing stuff. Cool, but yeah. So next session is going to be a little different, and we're gonna again as we kind of do our thing here. It's going to move faster. Generally, my normal spiel is this what we just did here the battle alone would have taken 2+ hours in any other game system. With all 4 of you, the villain, the bystanders, and everything. This is
Keeping track of phases and
Yeah,
initiative and speed and
yeah. So
I do.
sorry, that's my champions coming out.
I do have to remind you that I will not be here next week.
Gotcha. All right. We look forward to seeing you the following week.
Yes.
Cool. Any questions or anything at all? Any comments on the session?
No, thanks for a good session.
Yeah, it was
Good
great,
times.
Gage.
Yes.
Cool. Like I said, once it moves a little faster, once we get in the flow of things, and you guys are automatically just making your moves or rolling your dice, things are going to move fast. We're going to be able to accomplish a lot in any given session. And like I said, I want you to kind of just, more or less to kind of play your character, be aware of your own playbook moves, and let's go from there. But yeah, you guys did awesome. I really enjoyed developing your characters here, like with your home life and otherwise. So thanks for joining me, guys. You're awesome. Don't forget that.
Good
Need rose
times.
from
Yeah.
me. Well,
Cool.
otherwise,
Thanks.
have a great night, and I will check you guys out, except for Adam, in 1 week. And Steve, I'm
Cool.
seeing you on Thursday. Bye.
See you later.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care, chat.